In other stories, the protagonist travels to another world with a god-tier system. Our main character has one too, while other protagonists, with the help of their systems. Holy crap, do not walk away, other protagonists with the help of their systems. Crap, other protagonists, with the help of their systems, reach the peak of life and marry a rich, beautiful goddess. But our guy was miserably abandoned by his system. In this cultivation world where people fly and monsters laugh, he is shaking in his boots, knowing a beast could swallow him whole. The reason is that during these 5 years since he arrived, it seems the system followed the wrong script. Solving countless puzzles. The system definitely got the wrong script. Solving countless puzzles, looking like a novice, but the system got the wrong script. Countless puzzles, yet his wisdom is off the charts. Solving problems, appearing like an underage kid, appearing underage, like a genius high schooler, coming of age, yet possessing wisdom far beyond his years. Nianfan, through 9 years of compulsory education plus 3 years of high school, forcefully turned a failing student into a super scholar, winning awards. The winner of 9 extracurricular subjects including music, chess, calligraphy, and painting. He's the best, the only one to master those 9 arts. The best and only student, Li Nianfan, mastering music, chess, calligraphy, and painting. The one and only student, Li Nianfan, all his skills are maxed out. If this were a modern urban novel, it would definitely be a satisfying, face-slapping power fantasy. However, this is a cultivation story. You think you can talk logic and reason to a monster. Our protagonist can only hide on a secluded mountain, planting vegetables and raising flowers, living a self-sufficient life. He is too scared to go out, fearing he will be caught in the crossfire of immortals fighting, and end up dead for no reason. He started with nothing but a courtyard left by the system, a robot butler named Xiao Bai, who is basically a smart assistant, plus a loyal rural dog named Da Hei. If nothing unexpected happens, living a peaceful life as an ordinary man is not so bad. Just then, a girl knocked on his door. A great beauty. The protagonist looks at this beautiful lady and little girl duo. The protagonist stares at the beautiful lady and the little girl before him. His heart is racing. Could it be the system's spirit in heaven? His heart is pounding hard. Could it be the system? Could this be the wife that damn system found for me? Just a moment ago, this girl knocked on his door. The protagonist looks at the beautiful lady and the little girl. Could it be the system's spirit finally looking out for me? His heart skips a beat. Could it be the system in its divine grace? His heart is fluttering. Could it be the system? Could this be the wife that damn system sent to me? Oh my, I have been here for 5 years. He quickly turns and tells Xiao Bai to slice a watermelon. What about drinks? He calls Xiao Bai to bring watermelon. I have been here 5 years. Xiao Bai walks over, carrying the watermelon. The master and servant pair look at Xiao Bai in utter terror. Miss, what is that? The little girl asks. Don't be afraid, miss. This is Xiao Bai. It is a robot. It is a bit complicated to explain. Basically, it is a humanoid tool made using certain principles. A humanoid tool I created. It is not of much use. You can think of it as just a slightly clever toy. A sentient humanoid weapon. The girl clenches her fists. To him, it is just a toy. A sentient humanoid weapon, yet in his words, a humanoid weapon with a soul is an immortal artifact. To him, it is just a sentient humanoid weapon in his eyes. A humanoid with a soul. He must be a supreme master. He must be a supreme master. A sentient humanoid weapon is just a toy to him. Miss, please try this watermelon. I grew it myself. The girl takes the watermelon, handed over by the protagonist. As soon as she takes a bite, her whole body suddenly erupts in light. Because she lacked a trace of Dao Rhyme, she could not reach foundation establishment for 3 years. But after one bite of watermelon, she successfully broke through. Thank you, senior, for the melon that helped me reach foundation establishment. The protagonist is completely bewildered. Even if you like watermelon, there is no need to be so dramatic. The girl watches the protagonist. He casually tosses the watermelon rind filled with Dao Rhyme to a dog. She immediately overthinks it. Could this be the heavenly Tao, treating all things like straw dogs? The master not only helped me break through, but also used a precious melon to teach me the truth of the world. Could it be that he has seen through my identity and wishes to befriend me? The girl gives her personal jade pendant to the protagonist and asks if she can come back often to eat melon. I just do not know. Want some melon? I just do not know if I will be coming to Xing's place to eat in the future. So precious, the protagonist thinks while holding the jade pendant. It is so precious. Giving such a huge gift gave me quite a shock. It really is precious. So you wanted to eat watermelon? You are welcome anytime. This girl had waited bitterly for 3 years, unable to reach the foundation building stage. Yet, after taking just one bite of the watermelon grown by the protagonist, she successfully broke through. After the girl left, the protagonist switched to fishing mode. However, after fishing all day, he could not even see a single fish scale. Li Nianfan was very puzzled. He clearly released fish fry into the pond every month. In the very beginning, he even released a golden carp. But now, there is absolutely nothing left. His suspicious gaze fell upon Big Black. Big Black hurriedly shook his head, trying to act all innocent and helpful. The protagonist decided to take Big Black down the mountain to buy some fish fry, hoping to catch at least one fish. Catch a fish? The fish stall owner looked at him with confusion. The fish stall owner looked at his appearance with doubt. Not even a single fish caught. I could not catch any, so why am I here to buy more fry again? Don't even mention it. I clearly raised the fry in the pond, but I just could not catch a single fish. But for some reason, I just could not catch one. Simply could not catch any fish. The water quality and the feed were all fine, yet no fish. A monster, a supernatural creature. The owner quietly leaned toward the protagonist. A monster. The owner crept closer to the protagonist. Could it be a demon? The owner whispered to him. Maybe it is a spirit. The owner leaned in and said, how strange. A demon, this is so bizarre. Could a monster have entered that river? That is very strange. Could a demon have slipped into the river? How persistent. Could a spirit have entered that river? Truly weird. Is it possible a monster got in there? Could a supernatural creature have moved into that river? I have a tortoise here. It comes out to sunbathe every day. You should put it in your pond. That is right. If it remains safe and sound, then everything is fine. If it does not get eaten, it means your pond is safe. If it gets eaten by a monster, it proves your pond is not safe. Right. As Li Nianfan took the tortoise, he suddenly heard crying nearby. It turned out a little girl had been snatched away by a leopard spirit from the mountain. Heard that 3 cultivators have already rushed there to save her. Those 3 cultivators are currently being brutally beaten by the leopard spirit. You will taste delicious, the leopard spirit sneered while torturing the cultivators. The 3 cultivators were being utterly overwhelmed by the leopard spirit. The girl was about to be devoured by the leopard spirit. Right at that moment, a local dog came running over with a whoosh. The leopard spirit glanced sideways at Big Black. Where did this stray dog come from? Scared the life out of me. Lord Leopard is not eating you today, so get lost. Leopard spirit, you should just kill yourself. Don't force me to make a move. The 3 of them looked at Big Black with faces full of shock. This stray dog can actually talk, and his tone is so incredibly arrogant. The leopard spirit unleashed a finishing move, Stormy Blood Wind. Big Black swallowed the leopard's entire attack in one gulp. His eyes flashed with brilliance, and his entire aura transformed instantly. Suddenly, a giant dog paw extended from the sky. With one slap, the leopard spirit was flattened like a pancake. The 3 saw Big Black finish the leopard spirit in a single hit. They all knelt down to thank the immortal dog for saving their lives. Big Black looked at the 3 and warned them. My master likes to experience life as a mortal. When my master arrives, you are not to mention anything about me. The kill has nothing to do with me. Do not mention a word about me. Keep it a secret. This had nothing to do with me. You killed the leopard spirit. Treat my master as a regular human. The leopard spirit was killed by you guys. Nothing to do with me. You killed it. I am just a regular stray dog. Got it. The leopard spirit is your kill. It is irrelevant to me. You guys are the ones who killed this leopard spirit. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me. Did you remember that? Nothing to do with me. This girl almost became the leopard spirit's snack. Luckily, Big Black arrived in time to save her. Fortunately, Big Black saved her. She would have been a tasty meal. Luckily, Big Black saved her just in time. She was so tender and looked delicious. Just then, the protagonist came running over, panting for breath. I told you to stop, did not you hear me? He walked up and gave Big Black a firm smack on the head. Big Black hurriedly wagged his tail, trying his best to please him. Just what kind of hidden expert is he? To think he treats a divine dog like a common beast. He is literally treating an immortal dog like a stray. That is a godly dog, whose paws can blot out the sky. Even Master could not withstand a single strike from that paw. The young lady said in sheer terror. Then you are clearly underestimating Master. Junior sister, Master is the sect leader of the Cloud Sword sect. He could definitely take a hit from that paw. It would just take him a few months to recover from the injuries. The 3 of them watched the protagonist playing with Big Black. This man does not have a single trace of spiritual energy fluctuation. No matter how you look at him, he seems like a mere mortal. The protagonist stepped forward and grabbed the senior brother's hand. I am so sorry. I hope my silly dog did not cause you guys too much trouble. My name is Li Nianfan. Many thanks to you 3 young heroes for slaying the demon today. Not only did you save the girl, but you also brought peace back to Luexian town. A realization flashed in the senior brother's mind. Li Nianfan. Greetings, young Master Li. Nianfan. Doesn't that mean lingering thoughts of the mortal realm? Greetings, young Master Li. Nianfan. As in one who cherishes the common world. It means he resides in the mortal world by choice. Greetings, young Master Li. It is an honor to meet you. Good day, young Master Li. No wonder an expert would live in seclusion among mortals. Good day, young Master Li. So this is why a supreme being hides in the mundane world. Even his name carries such a profound artistic conception. An expert truly lives up to his reputation. Ha! The protagonist stood by the leopard spirit's corpse. Is this? He discovered a sparkling, translucent pearl. The senior brother quickly explained it was a demon core. Such a precious treasure. A demon as powerful as this leopard spirit would surely have a priceless core. Her demon core is extremely valuable, a true rarity. A demon core. Hearing how precious it was, the protagonist immediately tried to hand it to the girl. The girl felt the senior was testing her honesty. If she accepted this demon core, it would show a lack of integrity. She would likely meet a grim end. So despite her intense desire for it, she had to tell the protagonist the truth. Big Black sensed something was wrong. Wuss wuss wuss. He hurriedly started barking at them. The leopard spirit. The protagonist thought Big Black wanted to taste the leopard meat. Big Black, this carcass is too heavy. Why do not you carry it then? Hearing this, Big Black immediately shot a sharp look at the three cultivators. The junior brother resignedly took on the task of transporting the leopard's body. After sending the little girl home, the protagonist invited the three to his house to eat leopard meat. The three of them joyfully agreed. At the entrance, Xiao Bai greeted them warmly. Welcome home, master. An artifact spirit, the three were frozen in fear. Does this scene have to play out every time a guest visits? The protagonist helplessly explained that this is his robot, Xiao Bai. Sitting on the sofa, they were so stunned by the novel decor that they dared not move an inch. This floor is smoother than a bronze mirror. The floor is literally reflecting like a polished mirror. These perfect squares and circles. And this soft chair, it feels as if it is gently embracing one's backside. Is this the world of a true tycoon? The junior brother pointed at the air purifier nearby and asked, Young Master Li, what is this device? This is an air purifier. Its function is to make the air fresher. It is an air purifier. It simply keeps the air clean and fresh. Just a little gadget to make the air feel more refreshing. It is an air purifier designed to make the atmosphere crisp and fresh. The function is to keep the air circulation nice and fresh. The protagonist smiled and continued his explanation. Even the water here has been purified by my water filter. Fresh. This is not just fresh, this is pure spiritual energy. Freshness is an understatement. This is straight up spiritual chi. And that water, it is clearly top-grade spiritual water. The three of them were intoxicated by the room full of spiritual chi and spiritual water. He must be an incredibly powerful figure. No matter what, we must never offend him. Just then, the meddlesome second senior brother suddenly discovers a scroll inside the trash can. First senior brother claims he is too weak to move, yet he opens the scroll with great curiosity. With just one glance, first senior brother is instantly drawn into the world within the painting. Li Nianfan stares at them, looking completely bewildered. They realize this manuscript is actually just a casual sketch made by Li Nianfan. The intent of the sword Dao. My goodness, this sketch actually contains the supreme Dao rhyme and sword intent. First senior brother hurriedly begs Li Nianfan for the manuscript, sensing the sword intent. First senior brother desperately pleads with Li Nianfan to give him the sketch. Seeing how much they love it, Li Nianfan bashfully agrees to let them have it. Once the painting is in hand, the three of them quickly depart on their flying swords. Li Nianfan sighs with emotion once again. These cultivators saved a life and asked for nothing in return. They only wanted a scrap drawing. They are truly noble souls. Meanwhile, a certain sect is facing its doomsday. Disciples are fleeing one after another. The once glorious 10,000 Swords Immortal sect has seen its strength decline with each passing generation. Now, it has finally reached its darkest winter. Just moments ago, a demonic sword came flying through the air and pierced right into the roof. It turns out this is a challenge issued by the Sword Demon. 3 years ago, the Sword Demon burst onto the scene, wielding the fallen demon sword. He challenged every sword sect in the world single-handedly. To this day, he remains undefeated, and once he defeats a sect, not a single soul is left alive. Everyone, leave. The old sect master cannot bear to see his disciples die. Go, let them run for their lives. We are back. Just then, the three disciples return to the sect. We are back. The old sect master sees them and shouts, we are back. He hurriedly launches a powerful blast toward the three of them. He yells at the top of his lungs, go. You should not have come back. Yi Qingwu pulls out the scroll. Master, we encountered a supreme expert on our journey. His pet dog can insta-kill a great demon in one move. He has a square box that produces an endless supply of spiritual chi. Even the water he uses for tea is pure spiritual water. He gave us this painting. Perhaps it can help us overcome this crisis. The old sect master stares at them, as if they are total idiots. You guys were definitely scammed by some traveling salesman, were not you? How can you believe such a load of bull? You really are a bunch of blockheads. Yi Qingwu tries to explain further. The old sect master snatches the scroll and tosses it into the air. He immediately thrusts his sword toward it. Suddenly, the figure in the painting points a finger at the sword's tip. Under the overwhelming pressure of the supreme sword intent, the old sect master successfully breaks through the nascent soul stage. He has reached the soul projection stage. Unexpectedly, the sword demon senses the breakthrough and rushes over to the scene. He demands a duel with the old sect master. Even after his breakthrough, the old sect master is still no match for the sword demon. He is slammed into the ground by the sword demon's blade. Even with his new power, the old sect master is still totally outclassed by the sword demon. He gets flattened into the dirt by a single strike. The sword demon, Lu Mo Kuang, prepares to leave, but then he hears the old sect master say, through gritted teeth, "If you give me more time to study this painting, I will definitely be able to protect the 10,000 swords sect." Hearing this, the sword demon feels insulted. "I just wiped the floor with you. Have you no shame?" The old sect master pulls the scroll back out. "You might be hot stuff right now, but you are nothing compared to the author of this painting. Next to him, you are just a tiny little ant." The sword demon takes the painting and is instantly frozen in place. This has to be fake. How can anyone in this world paint such a terrifying Dao rhyme? The sword demon can't handle this crushing blow to his ego. He decides to go find this so-called mortal himself. For the sake of her sect's survival, Yi Qingwu has no choice but to lead the sword demon to Li Nianfan. Worried about her safety, the sect master and the others quietly follow behind. They arrive at the front of the small courtyard. The sword demon lets out a thunderous, arrogant roar. Demons and monsters are howling. The sword ghost is wailing in the secret chamber. The sword demon's roar shakes the heavens. The formation's power is surging. The demon confirms that Li Nianfan is not at home. He plans to destroy the courtyard first. The sword demon unleashes a wave of frantic attacks. The small courtyard remains completely unfazed. Inside the jade pendant, a massive golden phoenix suddenly emerges. It one-shots the sword demon instantly. Seeing the sword demon has perished, the survivors are in total shock. The girl suggests running away before the man returns. She says they must prepare for the demon's response. The old sect master stops the young lady. The demon core can boost power quickly and save time, but it will turn a person into a mindless monster. The girl listens and becomes determined. At this moment, the man returns with firewood. He finds a scrap sword at the door and picks it up. He sees this sturdy-looking sword and thinks he will use it for the kitchen. It will be great for chopping wood later. He intends to use it as a kitchen tool. The magic sword begins to use its silver tongue to bewitch the man. Unexpectedly, the man thinks it is just the buzzing of a mosquito. The magic sword sheds tears of humiliation. This is a world-shaking magic sword. It is trying its best to tempt the master with sweet words, but the master just thinks a mosquito is making a racket. The magic sword cannot swallow such an insult. It decides to let this ignorant human experience a brutal reality check. It whistles through the air, charging toward the door. Just as it is about to hit the door, it is struck by a calligraphy brush. The magic sword recovers on the spot, looking completely dazed. What on earth just hit me? It looks around in confusion. Turns out, it was a brush radiating immense sage energy. How can a mere mortal have such a high-level immortal artifact at home? This must be a fluke. I just need to find another way out. I can still get out. I just need to reroute and bypass. Go around this brush and head for the door. Just go around this brush. Then I will definitely be able to escape. The magic sword stealthily creeps up onto a cabinet, only to hear a loud thud. The magic sword is sent flying once again. It gets knocked back again. Even this cabinet is actually an immortal artifact too. Good grief, even this cabinet is an immortal tool. The magic sword, reviving once more, is now fired up with fighting spirit. It is determined to get out of this door today. If I can't walk out, I will crawl out. Thud. The magic sword is sent flying yet again. What kind of cursed place is this? The sword cries. It gives itself a pep talk and charges toward the door one more time. Wait, a little monk appears. The magic sword is horrified. Where did this monk come from? The little monk says he is the Lankavatara Sutra. The magic sword instantly goes berserk. First the brush, then the cabinet. Now even a tattered book is making a fool out of me. The little monk says, I mean no harm, while frantically beating the magic sword to a pulp. What kind of hellhole is this? The poor magic sword has been completely broken. Nini says. Thank you, Nini says. Nini says. Under the master's guidance, this red-haired girl has become quite the player. This red-haired girl has transformed under the master's training. The red-haired girl has evolved into a master of her own fate. Under the master's influence, she has truly changed. On this day, Li Nianfan is having a barbecue at home. Suddenly, he hears a knock at the door. It turns out to be the red-haired girl and her mother. The queen looks at Li Nianfan before her, thinking to herself, so this is the great sage. He does not look like one at all. The red-haired girl points at the barbecue nearby. Is this stuff really that delicious? Xiao Bai saw that someone was questioning its culinary skills. It hurriedly started brandishing its spatulas and knives. In no time, a plate of fragrant Michelin-level barbecue was served. Smelling the aroma, the red-haired girl could not help but pick up a piece. It was so delicious, she almost swallowed her own tongue. The mother and daughter duo began devouring the food like hungry wolves. After eating their fill, the girl decided to come clean to Li Nianfan about her identity. It turns out she is the princess of the Ganlong immortal dynasty. The current emperor has not been on the throne for long. He is quite simple-minded. He is not adept at political schemes. The court is currently controlled by the prime minister and the national master. They are thick as thieves, plotting together. The emperor, forced to compromise for the sake of the big picture, had no choice but to betroth the princess to the son of a traitorous official. Hearing the girl's story, Li Nianfan looked completely dazed. Is this not exactly like the plot of a TV drama? The mother and daughter were both bewildered. What is a TV drama? The protagonist explained this kind of cliché. I have seen many versions of it already. The two of them looked at Li Nianfan with great anticipation. The protagonist pondered for a moment. Have you two ever heard of the 36 stratagems, the chain stratagems? Both mother and daughter shook their heads. The protagonist smirked and stroked his chin. Time to flex a little again. First, use the stratagem, creating something from nothing. Spread a rumor that choosing the national master's son as the prince consort was entirely the national master's own wish. Then use sowing discord. The princess should feign a mutual affection with the prime minister's son. Then tell the national master's son that the prime minister's son is the one pestering you. Finally, watch the fire from the opposite bank. When the snipe and the clam grapple, the fisherman profits. Let them fight it out. The mother and daughter were in awe. He truly is a supreme expert. A casual suggestion from him could stir up a bloodbath in the world. A casual suggestion could stir up a bloodbath, even if I do not fully understand it. Turning over his hand to create clouds and rain. Terrifying, truly terrifying. This is simply too terrifying, too scary. One must never become an enemy of this man. Too terrifying. Relying on the logic and science taught by the system, he had become a supreme god emperor. Even the big black dog by his side became a supreme divine beast. However, the system chose this moment to return. It claimed to be the heavenly Tao itself. It stripped away all of his cultivation base, and it wiped away all memories of this lifetime. The reason was actually that the system felt he had married too few wives. It forced him and the big black dog back into the cycle of reincarnation. Who would have thought the system would manifest as a lowly girl? Yet it still could not stop acting like a total jerk. In 10 years, it trained the protagonist to be a god of 360 different trades, to get the system to teach him cultivation. He even mastered embroidery, which most girls find difficult. Through bitter practice, he became the god of embroidery. However, the system just gave him a perfunctory round of applause. It even mocked him. Weren't you the one who said that as a man? You would rather die than do such girly embroidery work. No, he has finished every single task the system assigned him. Can you finally teach me how to cultivate now? Unexpectedly, the system just smirked and said, still no. Honestly, does this system even know how to cultivate at all? But the system started acting all victimized. I have been with you for 10 whole years, and yet you misunderstand me like this. This system is very disappointed. The next second, a system notification popped up. Ding, host has learned all system skills. System will enter autopilot mode in 3 seconds. While the protagonist was still wondering what autopilot mode meant, a strong gust of wind blew in. The clothes and pants awarded by the system, and even that hat glowing with a faint green light, were all taken back by the system. Are you just quitting on me now? The protagonist kept cursing, asking if this dog of a system was just a sore loser. Inside the room, Xiao Bai, who had just changed its skin, heard its master's tragic wailing and howling. It rushed out to check on the situation. Chen Fan was still praising Xiao Bai, saying it was wonderful. You could hear my voice even through the door. You really are something else. In the next second, Xiao Bai almost pissed himself in fear. Li Nianfan could only explain that it was all an accident. Holding Xiao Bai, he began to vent his grievances. That dog of a system is truly more of a dog than you are. It promised me that after mastering 360 trades, it would teach me how to cultivate. Who knew it would just go slack and leave me hanging out to dry? This is a place where demonic beasts roam everywhere. In this Shenwu continent, powerful warriors are as common as hair on a dog. Being thick-skinned and optimistic, he thought, whatever, never mind. Since I am here, I might as well make the best of it. Without the system's constraints. At worst, I will go out tomorrow and find a master to learn some skills. At that moment, he heard Xiao Bai's stomach growling loudly. Li Nianfan had no choice but to plan a hunting trip. Xiao Bai was so happy he started licking him frantically, leaving behind only a beautiful BGM playing in the background. AMUSH. USH. MIMSH. Meanwhile, not far away, Yi Qingwu of the Cloud Sword sect, and Black Eagle, one of the 4 guardians of the Beast sect, were locked in a life and death struggle atop the sky. However, Yi Qingwu, who was only in the early stage of the spirit martial realm, was no match for Black Eagle, who was in the late stage. Just as Yi Qingwu thought she was about to fall, Li Nianfan appeared like a god descending to the mortal world. Holding a divine bow, he shouted, "Holy cow." He spotted that big silly vulture again. Xiao Bai can have an extra meal tonight. Black Eagle was fuming. Vulture, what vulture? I am an eagle, a mighty, majestic eagle. A mere mortal dares to think he can shoot me down. You are literally looking for death in a graveyard. However, Li Nianfan, who possessed god-level archery, drew his bow to the full and released, with a whistling sound. Tearing through space, it headed straight for Black Eagle. In an instant, Black Eagle's body was pierced through. Until the moment of his death, he could not understand. Could this really be an arrow shot by a mortal? Only Yi Qingwu, watching from the side, saw it clearly. There was actually Dao rhyme inscribed upon that arrow. In the distance, Xiao Bai, as if seeing his favorite toy, rushed toward Black Eagle's corpse. His entire body emitted a powerful demonic aura. With one look, Yi Qingwu knew this dog already possessed the strength of the peak spirit martial realm. Then his master must be ridiculously powerful. But as Li Nianfan approached Yi Qingwu, she found she could not sense any cultivation from this person at all. Meanwhile, Li Nianfan was sighing in admiration at how beautiful this girl was. She looked just like a fairy from a painting. Hearing this, Xiao Bai's face was full of disdain. Suddenly, Yi Qingwu knelt on the ground with a thud. She intended to thank him for saving her life, but before she could finish her words, she fainted. Can you believe it? A cultivator actually wants to take a mortal as her master. Just a moment ago, to fill Xiao Bai's stomach, Li Nianfan, with his mortal body, shot down the ancient beast Black Eagle. In doing so, he accidentally saved Yi Qingwu, who was fighting Black Eagle to the death. Who would have thought? Yi Qingwu's injuries were so severe after the battle with Black Eagle that, before she could even say thank you, she passed out. Li Nianfan saw how grave her injuries were. How could she have held on until now? Could she be an immortal cultivator? Scene change. Li Nianfan brought Yi Qingwu back to his home. Even though he had earned the title of God of Medicine from the system, he did not know if he could heal a cultivator. Everything depends on her own fate now. Yet his heart was filled with yearning for the world of cultivation. If only I could cultivate, too. How wonderful would it be to fly through the heavens and dive into the earth? Just then, Xiao Bai's barking came from outside. Li Nianfan knew instantly that Xiao Bai was getting greedy. Rolling up his sleeves, he said he would be right there to pluck the vulture's feathers. And on the bed, Yi Qingwu slowly began to wake up. She discovered that her injuries had miraculously healed. Judging by the position of the sun's shadow, she had only been unconscious for about an hour. That young man who saved her, he is definitely a peerless hidden expert. If I can ask for his help, I can surely wipe out those scumbags from the 100 Beast sect. But then she inadvertently noticed. The bed she was lying on was incredibly soft, and the bed frame was radiating the glow of a divine artifact. Looking at the calligraphy and paintings on the wall, rumble. In an instant, Yi Qingwu felt as if she was being swallowed by the painting. Infinite towering mountains rose from the ground, piercing straight into the clouds. Above the peaks, purple mist surged. An auspicious cloud swirled. A sacred aura swept in from all directions. This is definitely not the martial saint continent. Water. Do you not see the yellow river's waters come from the sky? Yi Qingwu's cultivation began to skyrocket. In the fire, Yi Qingwu's cultivation continues to soar. Martial, in an instant, she broke through to the peak of the late spirit martial realm. A world hidden within a painting, helping me realize the Tao. What kind of heaven-defying method is this? While she was still in a daze, Li Nianfan happened to see her wake up. Yi Qingwu could not help but ask him where he actually came from. Li Nianfan thought that a cultivator might have heard of Earth. So he asked casually, if someone knows where Earth is, maybe I can even go back. Hearing this unfamiliar place, Yi Qingwu wondered, could it be the world inside that painting? But she had never heard of it before. However, to avoid appearing too ignorant before the master, and because that world in the painting was very similar to the legendary Forbidden Lands, Yi Qingwu shamelessly said, Senior. Single quote, I have heard of Earth. Earth is a legend on our martial saint continent, a forbidden land where mortals cannot set foot. There, The spiritual energy is so thick it is almost solid. Ancient divine beasts roam the mountains. Human powerhouses can pluck the stars and hold the moon. Powerful demons can swallow the sun and the moon. It is the sacred cultivation ground that countless warriors dream of. Compared to it, the martial saint continent is like mud compared to the heavens. Li Nianfan was completely dumbfounded. Is Earth really that badass? Are you sure you did not get Earth and the martial saint continent mixed up? Then do you know where Earth is? Yi Qingwu still believed Li Nianfan was a supreme being who had shattered the void to come from the Forbidden Land. She continued her fabricated story. The Forbidden Land exists like a mystery. On the entire martial saint continent, those who know its location can be counted on one hand. How could a mere woman like me be worthy of knowing such secrets? Li Nianfan was speechless. This girl probably has some screws loose in her head. But in the next second, Yi Qingwu fell to her knees with a loud thud. She wanted to take Li Nianfan as her master and serve him for life to repay the life-saving grace. This girl definitely has a hole in her brain. She is a cultivator, yet she wants to apprentice herself to a mortal like me. Yi Qingwu's heart was also in a state of panic. Senior saved and healed me, and even helped me break through my cultivation. That is already a monumental favor. How could I have the audacity to think of apprenticing to the master? When she saw Li Nianfan squatting casually opposite her, she became even more terrified. Is Senior about to get angry? Li Nianfan's hand rested on her shoulder. Then he used the method his grandmother taught him. He leaned in close to Yi Qingwu's forehead, muttering to himself, "She does not have a fever." Then he slowly stood up, extended the left hand he would kept single for 18 years, and said, "Come take my hand." Yi Qingwu, who had no clue about Li Nianfan's true nature, panicked even more. "Senior, what kind of play is this?" "The howling celestial dog." Howling celestial style. Even the dog guarding his house is a howling celestial dog. Even the casual pet he raises is a golden crow of the sun. Meanwhile, the willow tree in the courtyard is actually the willow deity from the primordial era, the Azure Emperor. Yet all he knows is that he is just a piece of trash abandoned by the system. But the female cultivator before him is convinced he is an peerless master. She even insists on becoming his disciple. What in the world? Is there something wrong with this girl's head? Let me state this one more time. I am just an ordinary mortal, Miss Yi. Please do not mention this apprenticeship business again. Yi Qingwu is struck by a wave of lingering fear. The master claims to be a mortal. I have clearly offended Senior and made him unhappy. She feels a surge of deep regret. What kind of supreme existence is Senior? How could he possibly look upon an ant like me? I am not even worthy of carrying Senior's shoes, let alone becoming his disciple. Li Nianfan is now certain this girl has some brain damage, so he tells her to rest for a while longer. Having calmed down, Yi Qingwu begins to reflect. Could Senior be disguising himself as a mortal to experience the mundane world, playing among the mortals? A second later, Yi Qingwu has an epiphany. My request for apprenticeship must have exposed Senior's identity. It disturbed the state of mind he needs for his cultivation in the mortal realm. That is why Senior was displeased. Yi Qingwu vows to make amends. Since Senior wants to temper his heart in the mundane world, I must treat him like a normal person. But when she sees the great master roasting eagle meat, the invisible aura radiating from his movements is so incredibly perfect and lifelike, as expected of a master. Yi Qingwu hurries forward to apologize. I was being too impulsive just now. Please forgive me, young master. Oh, has her brain finally recovered after some rest? She seems much more normal now. Li Nianfan says it is fine as long as she has recovered. What happened just now was no big deal. After they introduce themselves, Li Nianfan tears off a piece of eagle meat and says, "Xiao Wu, try this black eagle meat. It is incredibly delicious." Yi Qingwu is overwhelmed by the unexpected favor. She quickly takes a step back. This is a black eagle. One of the 4 great protectors of the beast sect was roasted just like that. She does not dare to eat such a terrifying creature. She makes an excuse about having urgent business and takes her leave. That posture of soaring straight into the sky leaves Li Nianfan completely dazed. He wonders when he will ever become a cultivator himself. Meanwhile, the Cloud Sword sect is already a sea of blood. The sounds of slaughter shake the heavens. The 3rd and 7th elders are driven by ambition. They refuse to obey a sect leader who has not had a breakthrough in 30 years. They have betrayed the Cloud Sword sect to conspire with the Beast sect. Sect leader Yi Jinghong is caught in a sneak attack. Qin Hao, the young master of the Beast sect, fails to force a surrender. Qin Hao, the young master of the Beast sect, orders the total annihilation of the Cloud Sword sect. Fortunately, Yi Qingwu, who has achieved a breakthrough, arrives just in time. She battles the traitorous 3rd and 7th elders in the high skies. Blood stains the firmament. The earth trembles and cracks. Yi Qingwu unleashes the full peak power of her spirit martial realm. Qin Hao is completely dumbfounded by the sight. How is this possible? She crossed 3 stages in a single day, and she just one-shotted 2 elder-level experts. Yi Qingwu swings her longsword and shouts, "Qin Hao, you dog. It is your turn now." Holy moly! Qin Hao sees that the situation has turned south. He drops a threat and flees immediately. He does not forget to look back and vow to destroy the Cloud Sword sect. The disciples of the Cloud Sword sect cheer in triumph. They have finally defended their gates. Sect leader Yi then asks his daughter about the situation. Upon learning that Li Nianfan comes from the forbidden land of Earth, he immediately sets out to pay a visit. He even brings out the sect's ultimate heirloom treasure, all to repay Senior for saving his daughter's life. Although Qin Hao has been temporarily repelled, the Beast sect will surely strike back with a vengeance. Our Cloud Sword sect's only hope for survival is to cling tightly to the Senior's support, to show their utmost respect for the Senior. The father and daughter even gave up flying at the foot of the mountain to walk on foot. But when they arrived at Li Nianfan's courtyard, they were utterly dumbfounded. Sacred Tao rhymes flowed across the small bridge, and spiritual qi steamed up from the running water. The entire courtyard was swirling with Tao rhymes, entwined with auspicious clouds, and immortal qi soared to the heavens. They even saw the ancestor of all trees, the sky-measuring green tree, at the entrance, and that legendary vine, the dragon-trapping vine. When the little crow atop the sky-measuring green tree glared at them, Yi Jinghong was so terrified that he collapsed to the ground, shaking like a leaf. He could not help but marvel. A powerhouse of this world is truly terrifying beyond words. You will never believe it, but a mortal is actually using a divine artifact as a toothpick, just as Yi Qingwu brought her father to express their gratitude to Li Nianfan. Old man Yi recognized it at a single glance. The toothpick in Li Nianfan's mouth was actually a high-grade profound artifact. Even the sect's ultimate treasure he intended to gift Li Nianfan was merely a mid-grade profound artifact. Meanwhile, Li Nianfan saw the old man looking pale and gaunt, his legs shaking and covered in cold sweat. He looked just like an ordinary mortal. He must have been scared out of his wits when Yi Qingwu flew him here on her sword. But in the next second, Li Nianfan realized it might be rude to keep the toothpick in his mouth, so he casually spat it onto the ground. The father and daughter were instantly shell-shocked. A treasure of high-grade profound rank was spat onto the ground like it was nothing but phlegm. Xiao Bai, standing nearby, sensibly picked up the toothpick and tossed it into the trash. This scene gave old man Yi some naughty ideas. As he walked into the courtyard, he was once again staggered by the sight before him. The entire courtyard was filled with top-tier spirit herbs and medicines. The water in that pond was actually a spiritual spring flowing with Tao rhymes. Furthermore, the layout of the entire courtyard subtly contained the yin-yang 8 trigrams. Could this be the legendary heavenly Tao yin-yang 9 cycle? Return to void divine array. This was actually Li Nianfan's proudest masterpiece, as the god of landscaping and architecture. Thinking old man Yi also appreciated landscaping and architecture, Li Nianfan asked him how the layout of the small courtyard looked. Old man Yi's blood pressure skyrocketed instantly. High-level experts love to masquerade as mortals. If I praise him too aggressively, he might just backhand me into oblivion. He had to act profound, looking up and sighing, "Oh my, this house is built quite beautifully, and this tree is planted in just the right spot." Li Nianfan was left speechless by the response. Beside them, Yi Qingwu covered her eyes in embarrassment, thinking to herself, "I do not even know this old man." Li Nianfan had no choice but to invite them inside for tea, to ease old man Yi's awkwardness. Inside the room, as soon as old man Yi took a sip of tea, a unique power instantly surged through his meridians, continuously repairing his years of internal injuries. It was nothing short of a miracle elixir. Looking at Yi Qingwu nearby, her eyes were becoming seductive, and her face flushed like peach blossoms. Old man Yi realized something was wrong. After drinking the spirit tea, little Wu was breaking through the 3rd level of the Jade Maiden Sutra, and with every breakthrough, her 7 emotions and 6 desires would explode uncontrollably. Just when things were about to spiral out of control, Li Nianfan asked little Wu if she had a soul-testing stone to test martial souls. This finally pulled Yi Qingwu back to reality, from the brink of extreme arousal. By now, she was filled with immense shame. She reached out one hand and with a thought, from her storage ring, a shimmering blue crystal flew out. This was the soul-testing stone. One only needs to place their hand upon it. It should be able to detect one's martial soul talent. Yet, what felt like an eternity passed, and the soul-testing stone did not budge at all. Li Nianfan's head slumped in dejection. It turns out he really is just a piece of trash. No wonder the system abandoned him. But in the eyes of Yi Qingwu and her father, the expert had suppressed his great Tao aura, turning the soul-testing stone into a worthless pebble, as expected of a true expert. Yi Qingwu was utterly perplexed. Why would the senior pretend to have no martial soul and be unable to cultivate? Old man Yi gave her a quick brainwashing session. When an expert takes a mortal form, it is to experience the full spectrum of human emotions and hardships. For a mortal, the inability to cultivate is the ultimate suffering. Little did he know, Li Nianfan was currently cursing the heavens for being so unfair. Yi Qingwu played along and comforted him. Being an ordinary person is actually quite nice. She then pulled out her father's sect treasure to gift to Li Nianfan. Li Nianfan's confidence instantly skyrocketed. Could this be a token of her love. But looking at the hideous carving, he figured it could not be anything valuable. He had no choice but to accept it. Seeing his indifferent expression, the two thought to the expert, this treasure is indeed just a common trinket. Just as they were about to leave, old man Yi, blushing with embarrassment, offered to help Li Nianfan take out the trash. Li Nianfan sighed with emotion after hearing this. What a kind-hearted old man. He must have suffered a lot to provide for Miss Yi's cultivation. Li Nianfan expressed his gratitude and let him take the leftover black eagle meat along the way. Meanwhile, at the nearby 100 Beast Sect Master Qinpeng heard that Yi Qingwu had broken through 3 realms in a single day. He assumed she had obtained the legendary inheritance of Taoist Huoyan. After plotting, he decided to spread the news, hoping to reap the benefits while others fought. As for old man Yi, who just left Li Nianfan's house, he was currently rummaging through the pile of trash he took from Li Nianfan's home. His expression was extremely exaggerated and eccentric. Can you believe it? An immortal cultivator is actually digging through a mortal's garbage. He exerted every ounce of his strength just to tear open the trash bag. Instantly, a dense surge of energy soared into the sky. Then, he pulled out the toothpick that the earthling had just casually spat out. A holy aura was seen circulating continuously on that toothpick. He was certain that if he used its full power, it could move mountains and fill the seas. Next, he took out the black eagle meat the mortal had packed for him. He scarfed it down with greedy delight. The next second, he let out a long howl to the sky. His eyes glowed with light, his clothes shredded to pieces, as waves of energy flooded into his body. His cultivation level shattered the bottleneck instantly. He then performed a grand kowtow toward the mountain where the mortal lived. Thank you, senior, for your immense grace and virtue. Meanwhile, back in Li Nianfan's courtyard, he packed the survival essentials provided by the system, preparing to head down the mountain alone to seek his fortune. He patted the little bird on his shoulder, instructing it and Xiao Bai to look after the house. Then he walked toward the distance with unwavering determination. But how could he know that as soon as he left, the bird, Xiao Bai, and even the ants on the willow tree, their bodies began to glow and transform. Their auras became incredibly powerful. Even the dragon pond and the willow tree began to speak in human tongue. Things were starting to get absolutely ridiculous. As a master of all trades, people who knew him were all over Qingxi town. There were passers-by and roadside vendors. Even if they teased Li Nianfan and refused his money, Li Nianfan would not dream of accepting it. He just turned tail and ran. Finally, he was dragged by the innkeeper to sample a new menu. Ever since Li Nianfan taught him some culinary skills, the inn has been packed to the rafters every single day. The first floor was filled with commoners, while the second floor was occupied by high-ranking officials and some martial artists. Initially, the innkeeper was worried that Li Nianfan might feel out of place sitting on the second floor. But in Li Nianfan's mind, martial artists are not exactly man-eaters, right? Who would have thought that halfway up the stairs, a teacup would come flying their way? It was a stubborn noble youth named Lin Dong on the second floor, mocking and ridiculing Lin Xiaoyan, who was working as a chore boy at the inn. Rumor has it that Lin Dong and Lin Xiaoyan were originally cousins. Lin Xiaoyan entered the martial Dao at the age of 8. By 9, he had already reached the peak of the spirit martial realm. But at 10, his spiritual energy suddenly vanished. He fell from grace, becoming a martial arts cripple, and was even kicked out of the Lin family. Li Nianfan was momentarily stunned. Wait, why does this story sound so familiar? Have I read this in a novel before? Only Lin Xiaoyan knew the truth behind it. If it were not for the old monster inside his body, devouring his true qi, how could he have ended up in such a miserable state? At this moment, Lin Dong arrogantly demanded that he kowtow, claiming he might then reward him with a single gold coin. Lin Xiaoyan nearly snapped upon hearing this. I have already left the Lin family. Why are you still being so hostile and aggressive? Aren't you taking this bullying way too far? But with his current cultivation, he was no match for Lin Dong. He could only leave a parting threat and turn to walk away. 30 years on the east, 30 years on the west. Do not look down on a youth just because he is poor. But as he brushed past Li Nianfan, a cloud of white smoke suddenly drifted out from his body, transforming into a bald old man. The bald old man took just one look at Li Nianfan and was scared witless, vanishing in a flash. Lin Xiaoyan felt the old monster inside him disappear. Instantly, he felt like a 300-pound man who had suddenly leaned down into a hunk. He began to laugh and cry at the same time, completely losing his cool. Finally, he would not have to be a lowly worker anymore. Li Nianfan had just heard from Boss Zhang that this kid had a screw loose. Seeing him laughing and crying now, he indeed seemed quite unstable. Feeling pity for him, Li Nianfan gave him a hand to steady him. Lin Xiaoyan knew very well. The creepy old man, who had been devouring his true qi, was scared away by this big brother. He hurried to kneel and thank the senior for saving his life. Li Nianfan's face went numb with awkwardness. I only gave you a little help. Is there really a need for such a grand gesture? As Li Nianfan pulled him up, the moment their hands touched, Lin Xiaoyan could not sense even a shred of a martial artist's aura. He thought to himself, this expert's power must be so formidable that he has completely concealed his true qi. This would be the greatest opportunity of his life. Meanwhile, Lin Dong started barking like a dog nearby. You loser, kneeling and kowtowing like a piece of trash. You have thrown away every bit of the Lin family's dignity. Lin Xiaoyan's blood boiled. Are you freaking kidding me? You can insult me if you want, but to insult this senior expert, who do you think you are? Lin Dong became even more arrogant. I have insulted you both, so what are you going to do about it? Lin Xiaoyan was about to charge forward, but at that moment, Li Nianfan placed a hand on his shoulder. He comforted him, telling him not to stoop to the level of a mad dog. But who would have guessed that in the next second, a terrifying surge of energy flowed from Li Nianfan's hand into his body. His cultivation instantly rocketed back to the peak of the spirit martial realm. You would never believe it. The failure Lin Xiaoyan, who had been reduced to a chore boy, just by having his shoulder padded, had his cultivation break through to the Dozong realm in an instant. He pointed his finger toward the heavens, vowing to trample Lin Dong under his feet. As their fists swung, golden spiritual power and green spiritual power clashed violently. In a flash, Lin Dong was incredibly sent flying. Everyone nearby was absolutely stunned. A Duzong expert, how terrifying. Li Nianfan, who was patting his shoulder, was rendered speechless. This guy must be out of his mind. A Duzong expert coming to an inn to do odd jobs, seriously. At this moment, Lin Xiaoyan was overjoyed. The power he took pride in had finally returned. He immediately began kowtowing and prostrating himself before Li Nianfan. Gratefully, he thanked the senior for bestowing him with cultivation. Li Nianfan was completely bewildered by this sudden display. He thought to himself, is this guy mocking me or what? Li Nianfan stated that he was merely a mortal. How could I possibly bestow cultivation upon you? Ling Xiaoyan's mind began to race wildly. Why does the senior call himself a mortal? Could it be that he is playing the role of a mortal to experience the mundane world? He did not even notice that Lin Dong had already slipped away quietly. Meanwhile, Boss Zhang came over and invited Li Nianfan to taste his new cuisine. Ling Xiaoyan had no choice but to bid his farewells and depart. He vowed to return and serve the master faithfully once he grew stronger. For now, he had to head to the Lin family to take back everything that belonged to him. At the same time, Boss Zhang asked Li Nianfan why he was carrying his luggage. Li Nianfan replied that he wanted to visit the martial sects to seek a chance for immortality. He was unwilling to give up. It was bad enough being abandoned by the system after transmigrating. But why did Xiao Wu's soul-testing stone also show that he could not cultivate? Boss Zhang happened to hear that the Holy Sound Valley was holding a martial soul test in Qingxi town. He suggested Li Nianfan go and give it a try. Li Nianfan was stunned. He wolfed down a few bites of food, left some money, and rushed toward the Holy Sound Valley's testing site. The scene shifts. Inside the main hall of the Cloud Sword sect, the Valley Master of the Holy Sound Valley was berating Old Man Yi. He simply did not believe that drinking a cup of tea could lead to a breakthrough in the physical realm, or that looking at a painting could condense a martial soul, or that eating black eagle meat could break through a bottleneck. Ever since the 100 Beast sect spread the news, claiming the Cloud Sword sect had obtained the inheritance of the continent's strongest, the legacy of the Fire Cloud Taoist, a rift had formed between the two sect leaders. But in Old Man Yi's heart, he knew the master preferred peace and quiet, so he could not reveal the truth. The Holy Sound Valley Master, believing the Cloud Sword sect had truly taken the Fire Cloud Taoist's inheritance, came to demand a share with great fanfare. Old Man Yi did not want the Cloud Sword sect to become a target for everyone, so he had no choice but to agree to take him to visit the master. He repeatedly warned the Holy Sound Valley Master not to mention anything about cultivation in front of the master. Who would have thought that although Chin Potion, the Valley Master agreed readily. Once they reached the foot of the master's mountain, he ignored all warnings. He directly led his female disciple and flew on his sword straight toward Li Nianfan's courtyard. When he landed on the small bridge at Li Nianfan's entrance, he began to shout arrogant provocations. How could a world-class expert live in such a godforsaken place? As he spoke, he prepared to smash the gate with a palm strike. But in the next second, a terrifying pressure of the great Tao descended from the heavens. With a thunderous boom, Chin Potion was crushed firmly into the ground by the Tao rhyme pressure. He could not even move a finger. Then an eerie, menacing voice echoed. "Mere ants, how dare you show disrespect to Master's courtyard? Do you have a death wish?" Qin Potion was scared out of his wits, crying and screaming for mercy. This is actually the primordial demon, Ant. By then Old Man Yi and Yi Qingwu were already kneeling on the ground, declaring that they were friends of the Master, and would never dare to show even a hint of disrespect. They pleaded with the Lord Demon Ant to show mercy, but the primordial demon, Ant, felt that Qin Potion did not look like he had come for a sincere visit. It was just about to swallow him whole in one bite. Fortunately, Zhang Tianqing stopped him just in time. The demon Ant voiced its dissatisfaction. Azure Emperor, they were the ones who first offended Master's residence. Everyone's faces turned pale when they heard the title, Azure Emperor. In the Shenwu continent, there was only one person worthy of being called the Azure Emperor. That was a legendary figure who dominated an entire era in ancient times, a peerless character who defied heaven to attain emperorhood. But the Azure Emperor had supposedly passed away 90,000 years ago. Could it be someone with the same name? The Azure Emperor suggested that the offender should wait for the Master to return and decide his fate. But the demon Ant was defiant, claiming they were just a bunch of insects. Killing them would be enough. Why let them remain an eyesore for the Master? Qin Potion had completely lost his composure, clinging tightly to Old Man Yi. Old Man Yi cried out, "Don't drag me down to the grave with you." Fortunately, the Azure Emperor had the dragon-trapping vines bind him. Yet the demon Ant remained defiant. In an instant, he broke free from the dragon-trapping vines' constraints. A single willow branch suddenly slapped the armchair onto the ground. The Azure Emperor snorted coldly. "If he did not stop now, I shall purge you ahead of schedule." The overwhelming aura pressed down, leaving the demon Ant too terrified to speak. Only beads of sweat as large as beans kept rolling off his body. A poem, Withered Vines, Old Trees, Evening Crows. A poem, Withered Vines, Old Trees, Evening Crows. A poem, Withered Vines, Old Trees, Evening Crows. It was as if the cultivators' hearts and souls were being torn asunder. To think a cultivator's spirit could be crushed like this, it felt like a complete breakdown. Even a wild and untamable dragon prince could not escape the arrangements of the heavenly Tao system. He ended up becoming Li Nianfan's personal mount. Just as Li Nianfan headed to the Holy Sound Valley to test his martial soul, everyone believed he would join an immortal sect and soar to greatness in a single bound. Even the saintess of the Holy Sound Valley saw his extraordinary potential at a glance. She allowed him to be the first to test his martial soul. But in the end, fate played a cruel joke. It was a total bust. There was absolutely no reaction at all. Li Nianfan could not help but feel utterly disheartened. The people nearby tried to comfort him. With his vast knowledge, he would be a man of high status wherever he went. Not being a warrior was not the end of the world. That green-haired youth from the blacksmith shop even invited Li Nianfan to his home for a drink. After a few drinks, the green-haired lad let out a barrage of flattery, completely brainwashing Li Nianfan with his words. They rambled and drank until the sun was nearly behind the mountains. Only then did Li Nianfan plan to head home. But the next thing the green-haired lad said nearly made Li Nianfan's skin crawl. "Young Master Li, why do not you just make do and stay here for the night?" The mental image was just too much to handle. Li Nianfan felt there would be plenty of time in the future, so he declined. When the green-haired youth saw Li Nianfan to the door, he saw a horse claiming to be the third prince of the Dragon King, stealing and eating his family's cured meat. Without a second word, the green-haired youth rushed over to snatch the meat from the horse's mouth. Seeing that the youth was no match for the horse, Li Nianfan pulled a whip out of nowhere and lashed out. The horse was instantly whipped until it was foaming at the mouth. It lay on the ground, completely bewildered. How could a mere mortal possibly hurt it so badly? Li Nianfan was also equally confused. This horse is actually this fragile. Any whip can do it. The green-haired youth, however, twisted the whole situation, saying Li Nianfan was destined to be with this beast. He urged Li Nianfan to take it as a mount, essentially giving it a home. Give it a meal to eat, so it would not have to pitifully resort to stealing meat. The horse wanted to cry but had no tears. In horse language it was screaming, "Begone, begone, begone." In the eyes of the green-haired youth, it looked like the horse was overflowing with gratitude toward Li Nianfan. The horse thought to itself it would kick Li Nianfan off in a moment. But the second Li Nianfan sat on its back, the white horse felt as if Mount Tai were crushing down upon it. Its legs refused to obey its commands. Li Nianfan gave a flick of the whip. With a neigh, the horse galloped away into the distance. The horse wept as it ran, vowing that once it had recovered its strength, it would surely stain this land red with blood. As they neared his home, Li Nianfan recited a poem, Withered Vines, Old Trees, Evening Crows. A small bridge over flowing water by a cottage. On an ancient road in the west wind, a lean horse. The evening sun sinks in the west. The heartbroken man is at the edge of the world. The valley master of the Holy Sound Valley suddenly coughed up a mouthful of old blood. Do not. The valley master of Holy Sound Valley suddenly choked and spat blood. It felt as if his very core had been shattered. Yi Qingwu broke into a cold sweat. The master recites a poem, and his words become law. In the distance, a horse's neigh could be heard. The poor horse looked so wronged, as if it wanted to go home to its mommy. Li Nianfan also noticed the guests at his door. With a wave from Xiao Wu, the saintess of the Holy Sound Valley recognized this person as well. Yi Qingwu explained that this was her best friend, Qin Yin. Upon learning she was saved by Li Nianfan, she came to express her gratitude to the young master. The one with the silly grin is Qin Yin's father. Li Nianfan noticed the old man's pale complexion. Old man Yi claimed he was just exhausted from climbing the mountain. Li Nianfan understood instantly, another doting father who would do anything to ensure his daughter could pursue cultivation. Li Nianfan invited them inside for some tea. The white horse saw its chance and prepared to bolt. But who knew the dragon-trapping vine would instantly ensnare it? The primordial demon ant was drooling as well. It wanted to devour the horse in one bite. Luckily, Zhang Tianqing intervened just in time. The horse, looking utterly aggrieved, asked Zhang Tianqing, "What kind of godforsaken place is this? It is filled with such powerful beings." The horse lay on the ground, tears streaming down its face. It declared it was tired and just wanted to lie flat. Meanwhile, inside the house, Old Man Yi and Yi Qingwu were vigorously gulping down the tea Li Nianfan had brewed. Old Man Yi even licked the teacup clean. The sight left Qin Potion speechless. Beside him, Qin Yin urged her father to drink quickly. With just one sip of the tea, Qin Potion's injuries were instantly healed. Could it be that the master has forgiven him? Saintess Qin Yin stared at Li Nianfan, completely infatuated. To harm with a thought, to heal with a thought. The master's methods are truly terrifying. This is terrifyingly the most powerful person he has ever met in his life. Li Nianfan had intended to ask them to stay for dinner. Hearing this, the Yi father and daughter started drooling. They wondered if they would be served the meat of that repeatedly desecrated black eagle. But to their surprise, Old Man Qin and Qin Yin politely declined. The Yi father and daughter were so angry they wanted to beat them to death. Li Nianfan remembered the jade pendant Old Man Yi gave him last time. As a return gift, he personally forged a hoe and gave it to Old Man Yi. That shimmering glow. One look and you could tell it was a supreme-grade mystic artifact. Old Man Yi was moved to tears. He declared that whoever liked his post could touch the hoe. He really is not a great immortal cultivator. But the hoe he casually forged is a heaven-defying divine artifact in the hands of cultivators. Old Man Yi cherished it like a priceless treasure, unable to put it down. No one else was allowed to even touch it, especially this guy, the one who caused them to miss out on the master's meal, the main culprit. If they had successfully freeloaded that meal, their powers would have surely ascended to a whole new level. But he never would have dreamed that the young master of the 100 Beasts Gate had already caused the Spirit Sword sect to collapse. Old Man Yi's blood pressure shot up on the spot. His entire cultivation base erupted in an instant. But this level of power was nothing before Qin Hao. He just spread his hands, and a dense mass of soul power gathered above his head. With the cry of a spirit bird, Old Man Yi's attack was shattered in an instant. He then lightly snapped his fingers. Golden spiritual energy exploded in the air. Yi Qingwu let out a scream, and Old Man Yi, at the center of the spiritual explosion, was already smashed into a mud pit. With a mouthful of tech-savvy swagger, Old Man Yi pulled out a toothpick and casually flicked it out. Qin Hao was stunned. "Are you here to be a comedian? You actually think you can kill me with a toothpick?" But when he saw the Dao rhyme flowing on the toothpick, it was already too late. A dense web of golden Dao patterns descended from above. The soul bird above Qin Hao's head was instantly pierced through. The toothpick, as if alive, shot straight for Qin Hao. Its speed was incredible. Qin Hao did not even have time to react. He was instantly turned into a human kebab. Old Man Yi's ego was inflating to unprecedented levels. As he watched Qin Hao plummet through the void, Qin Potion shouted from behind Old Yi that Flex was a solid 10 out of 10. Old Yi could not help but burst out laughing. Hee. But just then, a dark shadow slowly emerged from a spatial rift. A voice filled with evil and world-shaking power echoed in all directions. He was the mastermind behind the Beast sect. Beneath those straw clothes, only a pair of glowing red eyes could be seen. He clenched his right hand tightly, unleashing a strike with a 100% critical hit rate. The infinite battle blade cleaved through the sky. Everyone was dumbfounded. What the heck am I looking at? This guy is straight up using cheat codes. Seeing his spotlight being stolen, Old Man Yi was immediately displeased. A hoe instantly appeared in his hand, but the hoe acted like a bottomless pit, instantly draining every drop of his spiritual energy. Old Yi cried out, "Quick, someone help me." The four cultivators frantically poured their spiritual power into the hoe. The man in black in the void was full of question marks. He had no idea what kind of weird move they were pulling, but as the spiritual power flowed in, the hoe began to expand massively. The man in black suddenly felt that things were going south. This hoe was actually a Dharma treasure that surpassed the mystic grade. Together, the four cultivators shoved the hoe toward the sky. Old Man Yi roared, "Dig him to death." Boom, a deafening explosion shook the air. The man in black became the brightest star in the sky, as he was sent flying into the distance. The four cultivators were panting from exhaustion. They sighed in relief. Thank goodness for the treasure bestowed by the expert. Otherwise, we would have perished on the spot. Afterward, Old Man Yi hugged the hoe, rolling around in pure joy. He muttered to himself. So the expert had already arranged everything for us. The expert gave us toothpicks, and then gifted this treasure to help us resolve the crisis. There must be a profound meaning behind this. The expert is hinting for us to use this hoe to till the world, and cultivate all living beings. The expert uses heaven and earth as a chessboard, and all living beings as chess pieces, playing an unprecedented game across the ages. And we are so fortunate to actually become a chess piece in the expert's hand. Everyone raised their hands, eager to become the expert's chess pieces. Chin Potion clung to Old Man Yi's leg even tighter, declaring that he was also a proactive candidate. He asked Old Man Yi for advice. How can I become one of the expert's chess pieces? Old Man Yi stated that as long as he kept working hard, sooner or later, he would become a reserve piece for the expert and a progressive youth of the martial god continent. The cultivators secretly vowed to strive to catch up with the expert's footsteps and become the #1 in the land. Progressive youth. Old Man Yi waved his hand grandly. Since the expert intends for us to till the world, then let us start with the beast sect. They all shouted, for the expert we fight. This is getting absolutely ridiculous. I am Uncle Cat. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. We will keep the grind going in the next episode. The horse this man picked up at random is actually the Dragon Prince. Yet the man uses him to plow the vegetable garden. The dignified prince of the East Sea Dragon clan is being treated like common livestock. The little white horse really wanted to kick him into oblivion, but the willow god and the dragon trapping vine in the yard sensed the little white horse's rebellious intentions. Suddenly, a surge of killing intent erupted, scaring the little white horse into instant submission. He signaled, Big brothers, please do not be hasty. My leg was just cramped. I just wanted to stretch a bit. Afterward, he was even threatened by Li Nianfan, either steamed or braised, or focus on plowing the fields properly. The aggrieved dragon prince was forced into a saddle, and thus began his life of farming. What has the world come to? Some dragons are just chilling, enjoying the sea breeze and eating shrimp, but this one has somehow been reduced to plowing a field. And when he looked back, the plow was glowing with the flow of Dao rhyme. It was being continuously transferred into his body. Instantly, he was enveloped by a tingling, pleasurable sensation. It felt so good his face turned red. The Dao patterns on the plow were actually healing his injuries. It even restored his strength. This feeling made him start running with excitement. In a flash, Li Nianfan's vegetable garden was completely plowed. Li Nianfan watched, completely stunned. He felt like this horse must have been an ox in its past life. Plowing is its one true love. It is just a shame it is so skinny. Hearing this, the horse screeched to a halt. It raised its hooves and neighed, Don't mind that I am skinny. I am all muscle. After saying that, it lowered its head and started munching on grass. It had to get fat. No matter how wronged it felt, it had to stay here and plow. The next second, it was shocked by the grass in its mouth. The spiritual energy in that grass was actually dozens of times more potent than the finest immortal nectar. This was definitely a super-grade, immortal herb. Just then, Xiaobai barked to announce that a guest had arrived, while telling the horse to be a good boy and plow the field. He would reward it with some lush green grass. Hearing this, the little dragon completely lost its dragon dignity. It officially declared itself a beast of burden that loves to plow. It vigorously chomped on the green grass on the ground, afraid that someone else would snatch it away. Even the little crow thought the horse had gone mad. At the door was the group of 4 cultivators. They came specifically to thank Li Nianfan for the walk he gave them. It was just too good to use. But on second thought, Old Man Yi is really too polite, simple, unpretentious, and knows his manners. If he were to betroth little Qingwu to me. As Li Nianfan's thoughts wandered, the mood suddenly changed. But Li Nianfan would never have dreamed that the cultivators had specially brought him an ancient-blooded, spirit-sentient jade rabbit. That braised rabbit head must be delicious. Li Nianfan thanked Old Man Yi, while stroking the rabbit's soft, fluffy fur. I could even use this to make a hand muff, but I am worried the rabbit might run away. Hearing this, Old Man Yi felt a chill run down his spine. Could it be that the senior is hinting at something to him? Once my wings are strong, will I betray him? At that moment, the jade rabbit struggled. Do not touch my head. Oh, a head pat feels so good. What a hypocritical rabbit. Xiaobai was also drooling, staring at the jade rabbit. It looks so delicious. That wretched expression scared the jade rabbit into leaping into the air, but it was immediately caught by a dragon trapping vine, which was worried it would fall. The jade rabbit was so scared it started spouting profanities. It even mocked the nearby tree for being ugly. The little crow and the ancient demonic ant also gathered around to check out the newcomer. The jade rabbit was so scared it lost the will to live. It lay on the ground, its face covered in tears. Muttering to itself, it said, Who am I? Where am I? I did not do anything to any of you. This man's lighter is considered by cultivators a heaven-defying divine artifact that can spew the samadhi true fire. That kitchen knife for cooking is seen as a peerless divine weapon entwined with Tao rhyme. The water from his faucet is treated by a low-level cultivator girl as rootless water, overflowing with spiritual energy. A single sip is worth more than a month of arduous cultivation. The dishes cooked in his kitchen actually trigger celestial phenomena. Immortal energy swirls around. The way the man flips the wok is like a peerless master stir-frying the great Tao of heaven and earth. The cultivators have already lost themselves in that aroma. They would be willing to stay single for 10 years just to have a single bite. Before long, a simple meal of 6 dishes and 1 soup was quickly placed on the dining table. Li Nianfan was about to tell them to dig in and not be polite, but the second half of the sentence was not even finished. Before the food was already being devoured by the cultivators, in a frenzy. They were eating like absolute beasts. One could even see cultivation level up notifications constantly popping up above their heads. The holy maiden of the Holy Sound Valley, who was the first to finish, gave Li Nianfan a crazy thumbs up, as expected of such high-tech culinary skills. This is simply out of this world. Hearing this, Li Nianfan thought to himself, they really must come from poor families. Even this simple home-cooked meal tastes like a divine delicacy to them. But he forgot that he was officially titled the God of Cooking by the system. Thinking about it, he wondered if he should cook a little more for them. The cultivators all expressed that they would not dare trouble the expert any further. They decided to help the expert wash the dishes and chopsticks. Instead, Li Nianfan's imagination began to run wild. These cultivators really do not like owing favors easily. Just as the cultivators were about to take their leave, Qin Potion was staring intently at the kitchen knife, unwilling to go. Seeing how obsessed he was, Li Nianfan decided to give the kitchen knife to him as a gift. Old man Qin was so excited that he gripped the knife with immense gratitude. His intense posture scared Li Nianfan half to death. It is just a kitchen knife. Please do not get so worked up. Since he had accepted the rabbit they brought today, Li Nianfan, as a return gesture, gave 2 handkerchiefs to Xiao Wu and Qin Yin. The 2 young ladies looked at the handkerchiefs, each lost in their own thoughts. Xiao Wu thought the expert must definitely like her, so she decided she should be more proactive in the future. Qin Yin thought the expert certainly had feelings for her. This handkerchief practically counts as a personal token of affection. As long as he had the slightest bit of interest in her, she would forge ahead without looking back and never give up. Li Nianfan looked at the 2 sweet but simple girls holding the handkerchiefs. They really have been suffering, even though they have become cultivators. They do not even own a decent handkerchief. But even in his dreams, he could not have imagined that the rabbit which had just fainted from fright would wake up and start fleeing frantically. It absolutely could not be eaten by the monsters in this courtyard. It kept crashing into trees and digging holes everywhere, crashing into trees again, and diving into pits. Li Nianfan remarked that this rabbit might be a little mentally unstable. He reached out with both hands and picked it up. Li Nianfan said he had not quite had his fill yet, so he might as well make some spicy sautéed rabbit head. That would definitely go well with rice. He even asked the rabbit with a straight face if it had any last words. The rabbit squeaked piteously, begging the expert for mercy. That pitiful display left Li Nianfan stunned. Has this rabbit become a spirit? It actually knows how to beg for its life. The rabbit used all its strength to climb onto Li Nianfan's arm. Its expression was completely heart-melting. I really can't resist. This rabbit suddenly became so cute. And so, Li Nianfan's heart softened. He brought over a medicine box to bandage its wounds. In the next second, the rabbit's injuries healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. This expert is simply too formidable. When Li Nianfan turned around to check on that wild horse, a flash of light emanated from the rabbit behind him. The rabbit had already transformed into a human form. She muttered to herself, "Could it be Mother's spirit in heaven protecting me, allowing Shao Qi to meet such a great expert?" What bad intentions could a scatterbrained boy have? He was just worried the wild horse would eat too much and burst, so he forced it to drink his own specially prepared laxative. In the next second, the horse's backside was like a Gatling gun. If the horse had not bitten down hard on a rock, that powerful recoil would have sent him flying away. He was at it for 8 whole days and nights. That sense of total liquidation left the horse lying on the ground in a state of complete exhaustion. He did not know what he had done wrong. He only wanted to get a bit fatter, to serve as a mount for his master. Xiao Bai said with a haughty expression, "You need to know your place. Focus on plowing the fields properly. Otherwise, what you will face next will be the cold edge of a blade." The white horse asked in terror, "Big brother dog, then what is your true identity?" Xiao Bai replied with a profound and mysterious air, "Naturally, I am master's dog." In an instant, the white horse had an epiphany. He realized he must become master's ox. Plowing the fields diligently while asking Xiao Bai for further guidance. Xiao Bai then began spouting serious-sounding nonsense, claiming he was just a pet dog. The golden bird was just a fun little bird. The sky-piercing green was merely a decorative tree, and the dragon-trapping vine was just a swing set. As for that ancient demon ant, it is nothing more than a common pest. Hearing this, the demon ant manifested immediately, proclaiming that he could help Master with the farming. Xiao Bai looked at him like he was crazy, thinking, "Are you kidding me? You are just an ant. How on earth are you going to help Master farm?" Suddenly, the ant had a stroke of genius. He held up the manure the horse had just dropped and said, "This dragon dung is the ultimate fertilizer." He vowed to spread dragon dung across the entire vegetable garden. Xiao Bai understood the implication instantly. Master is pretending to be a mortal, and this garden is what he prizes most. How could he let the ancient demon ant take all the credit? In the next second, Xiao Bai grabbed an even larger piece of dragon dung and bolted. The ancient rocking chair in the back cursed at Xiao Bai for being such a tryhard, accusing him of trying to steal the spotlight. The white horse saw this and wanted to join the dung shoveling frenzy too. Unexpectedly, the giant black eagle dropped a bundle of hay on him, telling him his only job was to provide the raw materials. He did not need to worry about anything else. The white horse immediately blurted out a classic line, "I am literally a vegetable to you guys, are not I? Screw you." Meanwhile, Li Nianfan never would have dreamed that Xiao Bai had instructed the little rabbit, who was now pretending to be a mistreated little girl. She successfully triggered Li Nianfan's protective instincts. Looking at the little girl, he was reminded of his younger sister back on Earth. He wondered if she was doing well. She left the room, seemingly in tears. Once Li Nianfan had departed, the rabbit sat right up. She had not expected the expert to have a sister back on Earth. She just did not know what kind of place Earth was, even though she was technically deceiving Li Nianfan. In order to stay at the expert's house, the rabbit had to keep the act going. She went out to thank Li Nianfan for saving her. She said her name was Xiao Qi, and that she had been sold to Qingxi town by evil human traffickers. She claimed she escaped at night when they were not looking. Seeing a house on the mountain, she ran toward it, only to faint from exhaustion. Li Nianfan asked where her family was. Xiao Qi said her mother had passed away, and her father had abandoned her to marry another woman. Hearing this, Li Nianfan patted her head. It turned out she was all alone in this world, just like him. Li Nianfan told her that if she had no one else to care for her, she could stay here and be his little sister. Xiao Qi was a bit stunned upon hearing this. Had she really succeeded in staying at the expert's home so easily? Xiao Qi threw herself into his arms, saying she would be delighted to stay. Li Nianfan patted her head again, deciding to make some new clothes for Xiao Qi. With a grand wave of his hand, his imagination took flight. As someone bestowed with the titles God of Embroidery by the system and God of Tailoring, his posture while making clothes was nothing short of legendary. Xiao Qi watched from the side in total shock. She could not believe clothes could be made in such a divine manner. Very soon, Li Nianfan held up a finished outfit and told Xiao Qi to change into it. Though she knew the expert was playing a role, she was still deeply grateful to him. He had just made the most powerful treasure garment in the world for her, especially those shoes. The expert called them sneakers. Xiao Qi continued her performance, profusely thanking Li Nianfan. She said that besides her mother, he was the first person to ever make clothes for her. Li Nianfan felt a wave of sympathy in his heart. It seems little Qi suffered a lot when she was kidnapped and sold. To think she would be this moved just by a new set of clothes. I must treat her better from now on. The scene shifts. Li Nianfan takes little Qi to the backyard, only to see Xiao Bai and the little crow threatening the white horse. One is making him neigh frantically. The other is forcing him to hurry up and produce fertilizer. Li Nianfan quickly stops them, telling them not to bully the thin horse, who knew that as soon as Xiao Bai and the crow saw their master, they would want to rush over and lick him. Seeing their mouths covered in filth, Li Nianfan kicks them both flying instantly. At this moment, the horse spots the rabbit, a fellow grass eater. He quickly uses his hoof to guard the grass in front of him. Little Qi replies to him in their secret tongue, saying she only eats the delicacies personally prepared by the expert. The horse gets excited immediately, begging the big boss to take him under her wing. Then Xiao Bai barks, indicating that using horse manure as fertilizer was actually his brilliant idea. Hearing this, the demon ant chatters loudly in protest. The commotion startles Li Nianfan and little Qi, making them jump back. That is one huge ant. A massive shadow of a shoe slowly descends from above. The ancient demon ant realizes things have taken a turn for the worse. It is over. I am cooked. ever since the Azure Rhino sacrificed his own manhood. He earned the expert's favor and was given great responsibility. The howling celestial dog considers following suit and clipping himself too, while Li Nianfan and the cultivators of Nameless Mountain are playing a game of basketball. An injured green-haired youth happens to be fleeing into the airspace above Nameless Mountain. He immediately sees a group of mortals tossing the water spirit pearl around. That is the Black Tortoise clan's supreme sect treasure they have sought for centuries. A bunch of ants dare to desecrate the water spirit pearl. The youth descends from the sky in an instant, eyes blazing with fury, intending to slaughter these wretched ants to vent his burning hatred. But in the next second, he is blasted away by an overwhelming surge of Tao pressure. His entire cultivation is suppressed until not a shred remains. Ultimately, he transforms into a washbasin-sized tortoise, falling from the heavens and crashing into the grass at the edge of the square. When he crawls out and pokes his head out, he is completely dumbfounded. It turns out those people playing with the water spirit pearl are all powerful martial ancestors. Could it be that he has stumbled into a legendary spirit gathering array? The tortoise realizes he can't afford to provoke them and prepares to escape, but he runs right into Yi Qingwu and Qin Yin. The two exchange a meaningful look. Should they drive this black tortoise away? But since Li Nianfan has not said anything, they can only pretend they did not see it. Qin Yin hands the heavenly demon zither to Li Nianfan. After Li Nianfan says he likes it, she takes her leave with a mischievous, satisfied smile. Watching that smile, Yi Qingwu, who was holding the wood spirit pearl, quickly follows suit and rushes forward, nearly tumbling into Li Nianfan's arms. After Li Nianfan steadies her, she offers the wood spirit pearl to him as a gift. This wood spirit pearl is a supreme treasure of the Dragon Clan. Surely, Li Nianfan will forgive her this time, right? Meanwhile, Li Nianfan finally realizes that Miss Yi actually has feelings for him. She is just not very good at expressing them. Just as the two are sharing a tender moment, the tortoise is shuffling away with tiny steps, trying to leave this dangerous place. But in the next second, he is spotted by Li Nianfan. Holy crap! Where did this giant turtle come from? Should I make a nutritious tonic soup to reward the workers? The tortoise is instantly paralyzed with fear. He hurriedly begs the expert for mercy. Yi Qingwu signals that just begging for mercy is useless. He needs to show off a special talent. The tortoise understands immediately and thanks the goddess. In the next second, he leaps into the air and headbutts the ball right out of the hand of a player about to score. The player is left in utter disbelief. Did I seriously just get dunked on by a turtle? The turtle was seen spinning the basketball on its hand while jumping around. Li Nianfan watched and quickly clapped, thinking this turtle really knew how to have fun. He could not bear to kill it now. Keeping it as a little entertainer for the future seemed like a good idea. These words were overheard by Xiao Bai, who was holding a knife. Xiao Bai was just about to castrate the turtle to turn it into a eunuch, so there was no need for the surgery after all. Master is being good at ball games enough to survive. Immediately, the turtle turned and rushed towards the water spirit pearl. It wanted to show off its skills in front of the expert. However, Big Brother Turtle bit Xiao Bai's tail, refusing to back down. Don't think just because you are like the celestial hound, you can steal all the credit. Xiao Bai wanted to cry but had no tears. He had never seen anyone play so dirty, ignoring all martial ethics. While the turtle was balancing the ball on its belly, it felt as if a certain seal within its body had been broken. The black tortoise bloodline began to gradually awaken. A refreshing aura that cleared the mind began to radiate from the water spirit pearl. The little spirits nearby felt their souls ascending in comfort within that aura. Meanwhile, Old Man Yi spoke to Xiao Wu. He suspected that the expert actually had feelings for Xiao Wu. The reason being, the opportunities the expert bestowed upon Xiao Wu were always the greatest. Indeed, the destiny given to Xiao Wu surpassed all others. Furthermore, since the expert is pretending to be immortal, he must eventually deal with the mortal path of marriage and children. Yi Qingwu's blood began to boil with excitement. Does father mean that I actually have a chance? Old Man Yi then pulled out a book titled The Mortal's Code. Inside were stories he had gathered from various worldly encounters. He had realized 1,000 rules for living as a mortal from them. As Old Man Yi spoke, his voice grew quieter, and his face grew redder. It is true what they say, books contain hidden treasures and beauties. This is Nameless Mountain. By the distant seashore, the Golden Peng clan had already sensed the aura of the black tortoise and the water spirit pearl. The chief of the Golden Peng clan issued an order. The chief was determined to kill the last of the black tortoise bloodline. Chief of the Golden Peng clan seized the water spirit pearl. Upon hearing this, the Pengs flew in unison towards Nameless Mountain. Meanwhile, inside the Jade Rabbit clan's main hall, little Xiao Qi carried Li Nianfan's peerless divine sword on her back. Her eyes were filled with an overwhelming killing intent. She pointed a single finger at those who wanted to harm her mother. Kneel before my mother's tombstone and repent. This is an order. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. We will continue the story this Saturday. She is an 8-year-old rabbit demon named Xiao Qi. No, carrying the peerless divine sword given to her by Li Nianfan of Earth Village. She came to the Jade Rabbit clan with her companion to avenge her mother. The Jade Rabbit clan chief thought Xiaoqi was only acting bold because she had someone backing her up. Who would have thought her companion just brought a stool and started snacking on melon seeds on the side, with the precious sword from the expert in her hand. There was no need for anyone else to steal the spotlight. Xiaoqi stood with her hands behind her back. Dao rhymes began to flow across her clothes. Seeing her acting so arrogant made the Jade Rabbit clan chief furious. He immediately ordered the elders to capture her together, but Xiaoqi only gave a disdainful smirk. As the chief and others lunged forward, they were frozen mid-air by an invisible force. Unable to move an inch forward, the Jade Rabbit clan chief was in disbelief. He did not expect all her equipment to be emperor-grade weapons. He immediately pulled out the sect's supreme treasure, the moonplate. Radiance began to swirl upon the moonplate. A heavy, oppressive aura emanated from it. The very space around it began to tremble. He believed this treasure would surely give Xiaoqi a nasty surprise. Suppressed, Xiaoqi reached back and drew the precious sword. The sword left its scabbard. A terrifying brilliance exploded from within the sheath, followed by a continuous stream of holy pressure. It was as if a sword god had descended, making all creation submit. The suppressing moonplate was instantly shattered into pieces. Xiaoqi stood there, gripping the divine sword. His movements were fluid and as fast as lightning. He swung the divine sword thrice and landed with effortless grace. Sun Wufan watched the three of them plummeting from the void to the ground. He shouted out, "Spectacular." Xiaoqi then sheathed her precious sword. She told Sun Wufan to take those 3 pieces of trash and offer them as sacrifices at her mother's grave. After speaking, Xiaoqi turned around and walked away with long strides. Meanwhile, in Qingxi town, Chen Fan was providing free medical consultations to the villagers. Suddenly, a very nice young lady rushed out from the queue. She grabbed Chen Fan's hand and pressed it against her chest. She pleaded for Chen Fan to feel why her heart was aching so much. Chen Fan suffered 10,000 points of critical damage in an instant. He almost kicked the bucket right then and there. She clearly was not sick at all, yet she came to cause trouble every single time. The girl claimed with a look of deep affection that she was indeed ill. She said she was suffering from lovesickness. The next second, she was sent flying by a woman carrying a child, who had come for a consultation. The child's face was turning blue and purple. One look and it was clear they had been poisoned. Just as Chen Fan was about to check the pulse to see what kind of lethal toxin it was, he was stopped by a beggar who looked like a total mess. The beggar gestured to let the girl go. "Let me handle this." Seeing the beggar reeking of alcohol, Chen Fan wondered if he could really neutralize the poison in the little girl. The beggar took a large swig of wine from his gourd. In the next second, he extended his right hand and pressed it against the little girl's back. Quickly, the little girl opened her mouth and vomited the poisonous fluid. The black tint on her skin rapidly faded away. With a wave of his hand, he directly collected the poisonous fluid the girl had vomited on the ground. He swept up the toxic waste left on the floor to prevent it from harming anyone else. Chen Fan was left utterly dumbfounded by the sight, expelling poison with internal energy, moving objects through the air. This beggar is definitely a hidden master, pretending to be a beggar while wandering the mortal world. Truly a legend. Just as the old man waved his hand and said that he was going to find the poisonous creature that harmed the girl, Chen Fan immediately chased after him. If he could seize this opportunity, his medical skills might reach the next level. The beggar saw that Chen Fan treated the villagers for free, and considering him a man of benevolence and righteousness, he agreed to let Chen Fan tag along. After introducing themselves, he learned the old man's surname was Zhang. He claimed to be just an ordinary mortal. The little girl was poisoned by the red-crested emerald green snake. The mucus of this poisonous snake is incredibly foul-smelling. Chen Fan could already smell a powerful stench. Yet old Zhang was still talking about how the snake was elusive and mysterious. Chen Fan was completely speechless. "Can't you smell such a massive stench? Seriously." He is really committed to this pretending to be a mortal act, to the point of no return. But masters hate it most when others expose their true identity. Chen Fan had no choice but to play along with him. Chen Fan picked up a leaf covered in the poisonous snake's mucus. He asked old Zhang if this was indeed the venom of the emerald green snake. This reckless move shocked old Zhang so much that he spat out all the wine in his stomach. He then rushed to Chen Fan and slapped the leaf away. He shouted in a panic, "The red-crested emerald venom spreads through the air. You will get poisoned doing that." But Chen Fan noticed his fingernails had not changed color. There were no signs of poisoning at all. It must be that old Zhang had silently neutralized the poison for him, and he still claims he is not a hidden master. Chen Fan chuckled to himself. He had truly discovered something extraordinary. Meanwhile, old Zhang, who was actually neutralizing the toxin, looked completely bewildered. Could this kid have stumbled upon some luck and eaten some medicine that counters snake venom? Just at that moment, a snake crawled out of the grass and came face to face with Chen Fan. The moment it saw Chen Fan's true form, it turned tail and bolted. Chen Fan immediately yelled, "Old Zhang, is it the snake?" Old Zhang looked over, his eyes lighting up. With a casual grab, it is another one of his fetching objects from afar techniques. The red-crested azure serpent, hidden in the bushes, was snatched into old Zhang's hand from a distance. He then applied several sealing spells and tossed it to Chen Fan to play with. Chen Fan was staring at the venomous snake with curiosity, but the next second the snake broke through the seal. It hissed aggressively at Chen Fan. Chen Fan was instantly like, "Oh hell no." He quickly threw the red-crested azure serpent away. Bang! After being thrown, the red-crested azure serpent exploded directly. It turned into dust. Old Zhang, who was about to channel his energy, was utterly shocked. The next second, he put on a sycophantic expression. He had not even made a move himself. How did this red-crested azure serpent just go poof? Meanwhile, Chen Fan was thinking, good thing old Zhang was quick on the draw. And he still claims he is not a reclusive master. He is really just pretending to be a mortal. Has it gotten to the point where he can't even stop himself? I am Uncle Cat, wishing everyone a happy new year. You would never have guessed. This cute and silly rabbit spirit is actually so cunning. Just as Chen Fan was about to stomp the primordial demon ant to death, Xiaoqi let out a terrified, high-pitched shriek. She remembered Chen Fan had previously said he wanted to make her into a spicy chili dish. The scene of a stir-fried rabbit head flashed in her mind. This coincidentally saved the primordial demon ant. Thank heavens, thank earth, thank the powers that be. Chen Fan hurriedly asked her what was wrong with his newly adopted little sister. Xiaoqi said that this little ant seems to be lost. It is so pitiful. Its mommy and daddy must be looking for it. After hearing this, Chen Fan felt a deep hatred for those human traffickers. Xiaoqi must be missing her family. He thought to himself that he must punish them severely. But in the following days, Xiaoqi pointed at Xiao Bai, saying she was afraid of dogs. She pointed at the little crow, saying its feathers were beautiful. It would be fun to make a shuttlecock out of them. And so, the little bird was plucked bald. It spent its days washing its face with tears. She pointed at the trapped dragon vine, saying she wanted to use it as a swing. Afterward, she even made a funny face. She mocked the other demons for only being the master's pets, while she could be the senior's little sister. This made Xiao Bai grind his teeth in anger. He should not have taught her how to act, to get the master to keep her. Now she has become a menace. But just as he finished speaking, he felt a murderous aura surge from behind him. He turned around and realized the true culprits were the other demons. Their endless rage was all unleashed on Xiao Bai. Only a miserable bark was left, echoing throughout the deep mountain forest. Meanwhile, inside the Cloud Sword sect, Qin Potion thought that by receiving the kitchen knife bestowed by the senior, he had earned the right to become the senior's chess piece. Old Head Yi stated that since the senior intends to cultivate the world, then all the living things in this world are naturally like the vegetables in the senior's garden. Bestowing you a kitchen knife naturally means he hopes you will become the vanguard that cuts down all things. And on Yi Qingwu's handkerchief, the evening glow was embroidered. This is clearly a hint about the fire cloud Taoist. The senior wants them to find the place where the fire cloud Taoist passed away, and seize the opportunities he left behind. Yi Qingwu expressed her confusion. What kind of existence is the senior? How could he possibly care about the treasures of the fire cloud Taoist? After hearing this, Old Head Yi immediately started cussing. Of course, the senior does not care about the fire cloud Taoist's treasures. But this is a test for us. If we do not even have this much awareness, then we are not worthy of being the senior's chess pieces. After hearing this, Yi Qingwu had a sudden epiphany. She vowed with great confidence that she would definitely find the fire cloud Taoist's treasure. So, what is the meaning of the handkerchief that Qin Yin received? One could see musical notes embroidered on that handkerchief. Could this be a hint? A perfect harmony between zithers. A husband sings and the wife follows. Just thinking about it makes one blush. Heartbeat quickens. Just then, a disciple came to report. The third princess will arrive at Yuha Island in 3 days. She has specifically ordered Old Man Yi to go and receive her. Old Man Yi disdainfully waved his hand, saying he had no time. Hearing this, the others felt this was not a good move. That third princess is the Empress's precious treasure. She is also deeply favored by the Emperor. It seems they would have to give her some face. Old Man Yi's killing intent instantly shot to the heavens. He gripped his wok and declared that they were now the senior's chess pieces. Out in the world, they represent the senior's honor. Forget a mere princess. Even if the Emperor himself came, he would not be worthy of them going out to greet him. If anyone disagrees, they can take it up with the wok in his hand first. Qin Potion also brandished his kitchen knife from behind, adding, "And my kitchen knife." After hearing this, the two women exchanged a look. They had a profound feeling that these two old men were getting a little too full of themselves. Who knew that 3 days would pass in a flash before the third princess could arrive? An uninvited guest showed up, the mastermind behind the 100 Beasts Gate, the fifth prince of the giant whale kingdom, and the evil demon Qi Xinghai. The two declared that since the 100 Beasts Gate was destroyed, the Cloud Sword sect must pay the price. The evil demon Qi Xinghai immediately erupted. A dense blue spiritual energy instantly flooded the entire grand hall. But at that moment, a kitchen knife flew through the air, slashing towards him. The evil demon was shocked. Who is it? Qin Potion let out a mighty roar. With this knife in hand, I shall cleave through all realms. A flash of bloody light. It is your grandpa, Qin Potion. The evil demon was instantly sent flying out of the grand hall. He crashed at the foot of the Cloud Sword Sect's mountain. He nearly collided with the third princess, who was about to storm the Cloud Sword Sect, and her guard, Duan Shui. The two of them stared at the kitchen knife, floating in the air, above the evil demon's corpse. It was actually wreathed in Dao rhyme. Its aura was powerful, and it possessed a spirit of its own. This is a spirit weapon. The next second, Old Man Yi, walk in hand, and Qin Potion descended from the sky. The two men, brimming with swagger, stood beside the evil demon's corpse and asked, "Third princess, I hope you were not frightened." The third princess was speechless for a moment, one holding a kitchen knife, the other a wok. "Do you guys even call these proper weapons?" The two old men flaunted the weapons in their hands. They explained that these were not treasures from Taoist Huoyan. Rather, they had pledged allegiance to a certain senior, and these weapons were bestowed upon them by that very senior. The third princess was stunned upon hearing this. Such ridiculously powerful weapons were actually gifts from someone else. She immediately stepped forward and bowed her head in respect. She pleaded with Old Man Yi to recommend her to that senior. I am Uncle Cat. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. We will continue next time. But never would one have thought that even Old Man Yi, who possessed divine artifacts and cultivation techniques from a great master, was no match for his opponents. As the time for Taoist Huoyan's treasure to be revealed drew near, Old Man Yi also felt the immense pressure. The cultivators on the island had long been eyeing Taoist Huoyan's treasure like hungry tigers. Yi Qingwu was also worried. Could she successfully complete the task the senior had entrusted to her? At this time, the third princess also came forward to help. She only hoped that Old Man Yi could, in front of the senior, put in a few good words for her. Old Man Yi stated that this journey was fraught with peril. He only hoped the third princess would act within her capabilities. The third princess scoffed inwardly. This Old Man Yi was being far too cautious. With the senior backing them, would not obtaining a mere treasure be a piece of cake? But the very next second, she paid a bitter price for her arrogance. The person floating in the void was absurdly powerful. Even with their combined strength, they could not harm him in the slightest. Even the ever-so-arrogant Old Man Yi had lost all his fight. I just do not understand which senior expert this is, and why they must compete with us juniors over such a minor opportunity. The person in the void is an elder of the Zan Yun sect. His name is Huang Shao. It is said that when Taoist Huoyan was alive, he once stole the ultimate treasure of the Zan Yun sect, the Chan Yi Yun Kai. Today, I have come specifically to retrieve this item. If Old Man Yi and the others do not leave at once, I will see to it that you all perish here. Upon hearing the name Zan Yun sect, the third princess felt a chill in her heart. Even Yi Qingwu felt that. They were the core masters of the entire divine martial continent. As Chen Fan's #1 fan, Old Man Yi, was quite disdainful upon hearing the two women's conversation. So what if they are core masters? He is acting under the orders of the great master. He came to retrieve Taoist Huoyan's treasure. There is absolutely no way he will back down. Besides, that great master's power is unfathomably deep. Even if this core master before us were to offend that senior, I am afraid he would not escape death. After hearing this, Huang Shao asked, where is this great master? Why not call him out for this old man to see? Old Man Yi said, is a mere treasure worthy of the great master's personal attention. But the master's methods are divine. This matter is already under his watchful eye. Just as he finished speaking, a crow's caw was heard from behind Huang Shao. It scared Huang Shao so much he broke out in a cold sweat. Hey, he turned to see it was just a passing crow. Hey, talk about awkward. At this moment, he had already clenched his fists. He dismissed everything Old Man Yi said as a child's trick. He was seen channeling his golden spiritual power, which formed into a giant palm. From the void, it rapidly descended to annihilate Old Man Yi and his group. Old Man Yi, holding the wok, shouted, all together now. The wok and the kitchen knife flew up to meet the attack. Everyone drew their weapons and channeled their spiritual power to support him. Bang! The spiritual power of Old Man Yi and his group shattered. They coughed up blood. The ground cracked open. The scene happened to be witnessed by Fang Ling and Lu Shuyan, who were riding the goat. They were certain that was their master's spiritual power. Looks like the fight has already started. We would better hurry over and provide support. Meanwhile, the goat was still lost in sorrow. He did not understand why the great master had abandoned him. Could it be that he was still unworthy of being the great master's mount? At this time, Qin Potion also believed he had been abandoned by the great master. Old Man Yi expressed his agreement. We could not even complete the task assigned by the great master. I am afraid we have become the master's disposable pawns. Who knew that upon hearing this, the mountain goat would ask them, is the great master you speak of surnamed Chen? Fang Ling, standing nearby, was very surprised. This big goat can actually talk. Yi Qingwu was heard saying, that is right. It is indeed young Master Chen. May I ask who you are? Meanwhile, Huang Xiao, high in the sky, still thought they were putting on a show. At this moment, Fang Ling also waved a greeting to her master in the sky. After a moment of thought, the mountain goat had an epiphany. With a single bleat, the spiritual power around its body erupted instantly. Fang Ling and her companion were completely unable to resist this goat's might. That terrifying aura swept across the entire field. Old Man Yi and the others stared at the terrifyingly powerful mountain goat. Could it be that, because we failed the mission, the great master sent this to silence us? Is this how it ends? Old Man Yao, lurking within Xiao Yan's body, merely glanced at a mortal, and was so scared he abandoned his host and fled frantically. Now, he must find a suitable vessel for possession. Otherwise, in his soul state, he would absolutely not survive more than 3 days. At that moment, he was in Qingxi town, searching for a target. He happened to spot a green-haired man sharpening a knife. The man's entire body radiated a powerful bloodline talent. If he could successfully possess this body, it would surely be a cut above possessing Xiao Yan. Just as he was cackling and charging towards the green-haired man, Li Nianfan happened to be carrying 2 jars of wine, looking for the green-haired man's help. The old medicine master, mistaking him for a human trafficker from Qingxi town, was so scared he almost dropped his wine with a swerve. He crashed right into the green-haired man's mountain goat, but he would have never dreamed that the green-haired man was sharpening his knife precisely to slaughter this mountain goat. Although the green-haired man was also reluctant to part with his goat, it was because it had fallen ill. It was painful for the green-haired man to watch. He figured it was better to just kill it and eat the meat. That way, the goat would suffer less. The great medicine emperor watched as the butcher knife drew ever closer. He was panicking big time, just as the green-haired man was about to give it a quick end. Thankfully, Li Nianfan intervened in the nick of time. He pried open the goat's eyes and declared that this goat was not sick at all. He told the green-haired man to let the goat go. Hearing this, the old medicine master knelt down and kowtowed in a very human-like way, thanking the senior for saving him. This left Li Nianfan and the other man stunned. Has this mountain goat become a spirit? The green-haired man felt that Li Nianfan had saved the goat, so he told Li Nianfan to take it with him. Although Li Nianfan had come down the mountain with the intention of buying some livestock for a mount. What on earth is the use of buying a mountain goat? At that moment, the mountain goat bit the corner of Li Nianfan's pants. It was as if to say it was way more stylish than any other mount. Li Nianfan thought the goat looked quite plump and white. Using it as a mount should be no problem, but riding a goat down the street, is not that a bit too flashy? The next second, the mountain goat lay prostrate on the ground, bleating, "Senior, please ride me. Senior, please ride me." And so, Li Nianfan sat atop the proud and spirited goat, and paraded down the main street of Qingxi town. The number of heads he turned was simply off the charts. At this time, Fang Ling of the Profound Cloud sect found Li Nianfan's goat very interesting. She expressed her desire to ride it for a bit. The old medicine master heard this and snorted coldly. How could the senior possibly let anyone else ride me? Who knew that Li Nianfan, seeing how cute the little girl was, would agree on the spot? The mountain goat's heart was thrown into turmoil. Could it be that the senior is abandoning me? Suddenly, an arrogant voice rang out. What is so great about a mortal's mount? There are thousands of powerful mounts within our sect. Aren't they all yours for the picking? Hearing that tone, Li Nianfan just wanted to punch him. So what if you are a cultivator? Is that a big deal? Does that mean you can do whatever you want? The one who spoke was none other than Lu Zian of the Profound Cloud sect. Fang Ling said that although the sect had powerful mounts, none of them were as interesting or fun as the goat. Lu Zian doted on his junior sister very much. Since his junior sister liked it, he flicked a few jade pendants at Li Nianfan. He declared that they were buying the goat. Li Nianfan looked at the jade pendants in his hand. They were not even as good as the one old man Yi gave him. And he wants to buy my goat with this kind of trash. But when Li Nianfan felt a sudden surge of killing intent from Lu Zian, he immediately laughed and gave in. In this world where strength is everything, one must learn to endure and endure again. Watching the 2 people and 1 goat leap into the air and fly away, Li Nianfan's mind was a stampede of 1,000 alpacas. The mount he just got was gone just like that. Meanwhile, on a distant mountaintop, it was as if a volcano suddenly erupted. A strange phenomenon appeared. This meant that the treasure of the Fire Cloud Taoist has appeared in the world. Can you believe it? After possessing the goat, the old medicine master was still a martial emperor powerhouse. Elder Huang Zhe of the Profound Cloud sect was a mere martial grandmaster. In his eyes, he was nothing, and yet he dared to snatch the senior's treasure. With a deafening boom, a powerful aura erupted from the elder apothecary's body. It was earth-shattering. In an instant, mountains crumbled, and rivers flowed backward. Huang Xiao turned pale with shock. This This is a martial emperor realm expert. The elder apothecary's form shifted, growing to a height of 10,000 zhong. He casually lifted his front hoof and swung it towards Huang Shao. Just a moment ago, he was unstoppable, the high and mighty Huang Shao. But now he was directly crushed by the terrifying aura, forced to kneel in the void, unable to move a muscle. He could only watch with wide eyes as the mountain-sized hoof descended. By the time the dust settled, Huang Shao was on the brink of despair. So the master they spoke of actually exists, an existence that even a martial emperor would address as master. It was completely beyond his imagination. Seeing the goat display its divine might, Old Man Yi and the others all wept with joy. So the master has not abandoned us after all. The third princess looked at the battered Huang Shao, all doubts about the master vanishing from her heart. All that remained was profound respect and awe. At this moment, Lu Zian was completely dumbfounded. Never in his wildest dreams would he have imagined that the goat he casually bought from a mortal was actually a martial emperor expert, one that left even his own master powerless to resist. Fang Ling watched as her master was about to be killed by the goat. She rushed over to shield Huang Shao with her body. She pitifully begged the goat to spare him. The goat was so angry it was about to lose its temper. But then it calmed down and thought, the master personally gifted me to Fang Ling. Could it be that he has taken a liking to this young lady? Or perhaps he is just hinting that I should only save Old Man Yi and his group, but not kill Fang Ling's master. But before it could fully grasp the master's profound intentions, it felt its body being drained of power. The goat's body was simply unable to channel its true strength. Like a punctured balloon, its power deflated. The elder apothecary broke out in a cold sweat. In his current state, he was no match for Huang Shao at all. But the next second, Huang Shao was already prostrated on the ground, kowtowing. He was even pressing down on Fang Ling's head, thanking the senior for the mercy of sparing their lives. Brother Goat was overjoyed. He did not expect this old geezer to be so useless. He was scared witless just like that. Good thing he did not see through my weakness. HMPH, stay kneeling. I do not have time to forgive you right now. At this moment, Old Man Yi also hurried over to thank the senior for saving his life. The elder apothecary stated that his name was Da Shan. You can call me Brother Goat. I am the master's mount. Why did the master send you here? Old Man Yi reported truthfully. We are here to complete the master's trial, to bring back the treasure of the Fire Cloud Taoist. Brother Goat said with a smug look. Then what are you waiting for? Hurry up, get the treasure and report back. But inwardly he was thinking, I need to get out of here fast. If Huang Shao figures me out, it is game over. After Old Man Yi and the others left, only then did Huang Shao dare to ask his own disciple, why were you riding such an insanely powerful senior goat? A few minutes later, Old Man Huang spat out a mouthful of old blood. He pointed at Lu Zian and cursed this treacherous disciple. How dare you try to steal the master's mount? The thousands of years of the profound cloud sect's legacy will be ruined by your hands. Old Man Huang's tears fell like rain. Oh, the humanity. Meanwhile, far away, Chen Fan let out a sneeze. He was lamenting that this divine martial continent was great in every way, except that it was too cruel to mortals. He had finally managed to get a mount, only to have it stolen by a cultivator. This is just my luck, is not it? Since I can't cultivate, he had to find another way out for himself. I am Uncle Cat. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. 3 updates today, let us get it. Can you believe it? I, Chen Fan, am not some big shot in a cultivation story. I am actually starting to recruit an army in another world. Just as Shao Qi was looking on with curiosity, Chen Fan unwrapped the treasure that Xiao Wu had given him. The so-called treasure looked just like a common piece of plastic. It was giving off a colorful glow. A plastic sheet glowing with 7 colors. This other world actually has plastic sheets. Chen Fan declared that he would take as much of this stuff as he could get, because he wanted to use these plastic sheets to start a greenhouse for off-season vegetables on the divine martial continent, and build the world's strongest agricultural empire. An idea sparked in his mind. He would get those 2 old geezers, the Yi elders, to help him recruit 200 people within a month. Money is not an issue, but the people we hire must be reliable. Hearing this, the 2 elders' hearts surged with magnificent waves, as expected of the master. Is he about to begin his grand plan of cultivating the world? The 2 elders, like youths overflowing with hormones, instantly clenched their fists and declared it was no problem. Chen Fan gave Yi Qingwu a charming look. He thought to himself, now that my career plan is set. Single quote, should not it be time to start on the romance department? The next second, he asked Yi Qingwu to go somewhere with him, to have a private chat. The crowd watched the backs of the 2 young people as they left, each with their own thoughts. Shao Qi was like a divine beast on the verge of turning to the dark side. The third princess and Duan Shui were completely baffled. Whoa, things are moving a little fast. Meanwhile, Chinyin blushed and lowered her head. She could only blame herself for not being proactive enough and missing the golden opportunity. In the room where the two were alone, Chen Fan took out a wooden box swirling with spiritual energy and handed it to Xiao Wu. Chen Fan thought if Xiao Wu gives a gift in return this time, then it is pretty much a sure thing she is interested in him. The box was opened by Yi Qingwu. Inside there was only a jade pendant with no Dao inscriptions and no self-contained world. Just an ordinary jade pendant. This left Yi Qingwu very confused. Usually, when the master makes a move, it is always a divine artifact. So why did he give her something so ordinary? Could it be a hint that she should maintain a calm heart in all matters, and not to be too ambitious? Chen Fan explained that he carved this jade pendant himself. It carried his yearning for the martial path. It was also the only thing he could offer right now. The most precious gift. Yi Qingwu held the jade pendant in both hands, thinking, of course, with my current level of cultivation, although I have become a pawn for the master, I am still not worthy of a magic treasure bestowed by him. It seems I still need to cultivate diligently. Yi Qingwu stated that she understood now. From now on, she will definitely keep the jade pendant close to her body. Hearing the words, close to her body, Chen Fan could not help but feel a rush of blood to his head. A nosebleed gushed out. Meanwhile, outside the courtyard, Brother Shan just took a few bites of green grass, and was so angry that smoke was fuming from Zima's nostrils. This is my turf. Brother Shan's eyes instantly glowed red. Anything you can do, I can do too. But being the master's personal mount, that is something you can't do. So, there is no need to say more about our respective statuses. Zima was instantly brainwashed by this completely illogical argument. His anger vanished. Brother Shan showed a disdainful expression. He continued, I can let Xiao Bai and Xiao Qi have their way. I can also tolerate the old vine and ancient tree. But you, Zima, what the hell are you? Single quote. The great dragon prince finally understood his place. He lowered his head, admitting he was blind as a bat. He even conjured a pile of lush green grass as a tribute to Brother Shan. His heart was already on the verge of collapse. A personal mount definitely has a higher status than him. From now on, he would better work hard to get on Brother Shan's good side. At this moment, Brother Shan, who was eating the grass, suddenly felt it had a rancid smell. Zima exclaimed, how is that possible? Brother Dog and Brother Crow just cut it. The mountain goat was instantly shocked and lost its color. Imagine the scene of a dog and a bird mowing the lawn with their mouths. What he was eating was actually secondhand grass. The mountain goat looked up and spat dramatically, saying, I am no longer pure. Can you believe it? The mountain goat, which was taken away by cultivators, actually managed to find its way back home on its own, and it even brought back a group of cultivators. When Chen Fan heard the voice of the woman who had snatched his goat, his scalp instantly tingled. Don't tell me they are here to settle the score with me. No, the jade pendant he used to trade for the mountain goat had already been thrown away by him. His whole demeanor became crooked. He imagined being grabbed by the neck and furiously rubbed by that old woman. He immediately pushed the mountain goat away, indicating that this goat had run back on its own. It was not me who snatched it. Hearing this, the master and his two disciples trembled uncontrollably. Their faces turned pale. They were on the verge of kneeling before Chen Fan. The senior mentioned the word snatch. As expected, he still held a grudge against them. Old man Huang could only state that he had brought his disciples here to apologize for their transgressions. This left Chen Fan completely bewildered. What on earth are these cultivators up to? Fortunately, Xiao Wu walked over from behind with a smile. Chen Fan understood in a flash. It must have been Xiao Wu who stood up for him and taught this domineering woman and her master a lesson. At that moment, Fang Ling suddenly grabbed Chen Fan's hand, begging Chen Fan to spare his senior sister and master. Huang and his disciples almost had a breakdown. Isn't this blatantly exposing the senior's identity as a mortal in disguise? Since the big goat has already returned, let us just let bygones be bygones. However, I lost that piece of jade, so I can't give it back to you guys. In the eyes of old man Huang and the others, Chen Fan's face was filled with a sinister expression that made one's hair stand on end. They hurriedly bowed their heads and thanked Master Chen profusely. Chen Fan could only wave his hand, telling them to go down the mountain. After the three of them left, Chen Fan then turned to look at Yi Qingwu. He saw that she was accompanied by two unfamiliar women. Yi Qingwu's mind raced. She had brought people over so abruptly. Would the senior be angry? Before Yi Qingwu could even make an introduction, the third princess eagerly introduced herself. The third princess introduced herself as Zhao Lingzi. The one beside her said her name was Duan Shui. She told Chen Fan to call her little Duan. However, seeing the two of them dressed so flamboyantly, and with so little fabric on them, they were clearly either rich or noble, unlike old man Yi, whose family was so poor, and still had to support Xiao Wu's cultivation. It was truly tough. Since they came together, Chen Fan invited Miss Zhao and Auntie Shui to join them for a simple meal. Hearing Chen Fan call her Auntie Shui Duan Shui, instantly blushed to the tips of her ears. For some reason, she felt a little hurt. Does calling me Auntie Shui mean he thinks I am very old? The third princess looked at Chen Fan's courtyard, which was like a celestial paradise, and almost asked if this was the heavenly court. Fortunately, old man Yi promptly signaled her with a cough. Walking into the courtyard, the first thing they saw was Xiao Qi swinging on the dragon-trapping vine. Yi Qingwu was taken aback. Isn't that the spirit-communicating rabbit she gave to the senior? It has actually cultivated into human form already. Moreover, she and the senior address each other as brother and sister. It seems I will have to be more respectful to her from now on. At this time, Chen Fan asked everyone to take a seat first. He was going to prepare a proper meal. Consider it a thank you to Xiao Wu for standing up for him. When Yi Qingwu heard this, she knew that the senior was aware she had completed her mission. He had accepted her as his chess piece. Then she took out the treasure of Taoist fire cloud. But I realized that if I said this was a gift for the master, would not that be like directly exposing him? Exposing the fact that the master is pretending to be immortal. I could only say it was a return gift for the handkerchiefs. The more Chen Fan thought about it, the redder his face became. He had given out 2 handkerchiefs before, but only received a return gift from Miss Yi. Could it be? She likes me. This man, upon discovering he had no hope of cultivation, actually started growing greenhouse vegetables in another world. But he never would have dreamed that some major sect bigwigs had already begun to help him unify the cultivation world, implementing a plan to dominate the entire planet. There was even a princess from a cultivation dynasty willing to stay by his side, just to help the master mow his lawn and feed his livestock. All she asked was for the master to provide her with food and shelter. Since such a good offer was on the table, Chen Fan immediately told them to go home and pack their things, and come report for duty. Meanwhile, as Chen Fan's #1 admirer, old man Yi, had already started arranging a grand unification plan for Chen Fan. He ordered Qin Potion to head to the giant whale nation. He ordered Huang Zhao, who was hiding at the foot of the mountain, too scared to leave, to assist Yi Qingwu in her search for the Zen Wing cloud brocade. Huang Zhao looked at old man Yi. Just by staying at the master's house for a short while, his power had broken through multiple levels. He immediately lost all his temper. Facing old man Yi, whose power was even lower than his own, he too chose to become a loyal follower. He knelt in worship, obeying old man Yi's arrangements. At this moment, to cover the expenses of recruiting his new staff, Chen Fan prepared to write some calligraphy to sell in Qingxi town. Chen Fan was seen holding a brush pen. The entire heaven and earth were stirred by the brush in his hand. Dao rhyme surged. The great Dao thundered. An invisible force descended from the heavens, attaching itself to that brush pen. Xiao Qi looked up in astonishment. The roof had become like an illusion. He saw the stars in the endless deep space. That formless power came from among the stars, crossing the sea of stars to arrive here. My heavens, that is actually the star of literature. Could it be that the master is the star of literature, descended to the mortal world? Xiao Qi retracted her gaze. She then saw the brush pen dancing like a dragon and phoenix under Chen Fan's control. One by one, vigorous and powerful characters, written with iron strokes and silver hooks, quietly came to life on the rice paper. An old man, seized by youthful fire. Yellow hound on the left, gray goshawk on the right. Xiao Qi recited the words silently. Suddenly, the scene before her eyes changed dramatically. She felt as if she was traveling through time and space, the stars shifting around her. A white-haired old man with the air of an immortal sage stood atop a 10,000-foot cliff, looking down on the world with pride. He will draw his eagle-carved bow like a full moon. Gazing northwest, he shoots the sky wolf star. With a thunderous boom, a surge of heroic ambition made Xiao Qi's blood boil. Unconsciously, Xiao Qi's cultivation level broke through continuously, like a rocket. It was not until Chen Fan put down his brush pen. He sighed, feeling that his writing was still not good enough. Xiao Qi expressed her confusion. Chen Fan let out a sigh. Although his skills were exquisite, he was writing this calligraphy to make money. Ultimately, his state of mind was a bit tainted. But then he thought, once he had more money, not only could he build a vegetable greenhouse, he could also take Missy out on dates, traveling the mountains and enjoying the scenery. His heart blossomed with joy at the thought. However, 3 days had passed, and he still had not received a return gift from Yi Qingwu. Could it be that he was just flattering himself? The scene changes. He saw the mountain-like pile of dragon dung in the backyard. He instantly lost his cool. This horse poops way too much. At this moment, his dragon horse had already collapsed on the ground, barely breathing. And he was still saying he could keep eating. He could even keep pulling. Chen Fan figured it was just the medicine from earlier still kicking in. But under his so-called divine beast doctor examination, he still could not find the cause at all. In that case, might as well slaughter it and eat the meat. The demons panicked on the spot when they heard that. Even Shaoqi made a totally stunned face, sighing at how a master could turn on a dime. Truly, like serving a ruler is like keeping company with a tiger. Ah. He is the third crown prince of the East Sea Dragon clan, a divine beast, the little azure dragon. Day in and day out he hauled manure, spread fertilizer, and plowed fields for the master. And in the end he worked himself completely dry, only to wind up with the fate of being slaughtered by the master and eaten. After spending many days with him, Xiao Pai, feeling a little sympathy, came up with an idea for him. That was to take that mountain-like pile of dragon manure and turn it under the soil, let it ferment into real fertilizer. Xiao Bai dragged his exhausted body over and got to work the moment he was told. Just then, Chen Fan, who happened to be holding an 8-meter kitchen cleaver and was getting ready to give the white horse a quick clean end, saw it. Shaoqi hurriedly joked, saying the skinny horse had started plowing again. This is pretty fun. Seeing how much Shaoqi liked the white horse, Chen Fan casually snapped off a willow twig and stirred it around in the gourd for a bit. A strange smell spread out. While the demons looked on curiously, Shaoqi opened her mouth and asked Chen Fan what it was. Chen Fan said it was a miracle medicine, a medicine for nerves. As he spoke, he poured it straight into the white horse mouth. The next second, the white horse was suddenly full of life. Like a beast on a power-up, it kept neighing and calling out. Its waist was not sore anymore, and it had even more strength to turn the soil. Seeing the horse perk up after taking the nerve medicine, Chen Fan felt things seemed to be improving. So he stopped worrying about it, because he was taking Shaoqi to sell calligraphy and paintings. At this time in Qingxi town, Yan Zhaofeng, the #1 genius of the Sacred Sword Palace, had been hiding his true strength and traveling the world to seek a breakthrough in his state of mind. But for a whole year he gained nothing. Yet right then, a surge of sword aura swept in. In the crowd, people were discussing Chen Fan's finest paintings. On the painting stood a swordsman dressed in black, wearing a bamboo hat, with his back to all living beings. Sword intent burst forth from within him, as he stood facing the river, stopping to sigh, a lone shadow on the cold river. Old friends of the wandering world. Why must we have known each other to meet? The crowd started shouting prices, trying to buy it. Yan Zhaofeng flared with anger. How dare these mortals cheapen such a supreme treasure? Until he looked closely at the swordsman painting. Boom. A sword domain swept over him like a vast ocean, instantly swallowing him whole, pushing his cultivation to break through a level, and making his sword domain leap to a higher realm. A moment later, he asked the shopkeeper with an excited face whether he could sell him the calligraphy and painting. Boss Zhang could not be bothered with him. This is young Master Chen, divine masterpiece. Yan Zhaofeng could only politely ask where young Master Chen was. The next second, he dashed off like a madman in the direction Boss Zhang pointed. Very soon he saw a young man leading a goat, strolling down the main street at an easy pace. Wherever he went, passers-by warmly called out young Master Chen, and he always returned the courtesy politely. Watching that back view that looked just like an ordinary man, Yan Zhaofeng became even more certain of his guess. So young Master Chen was disguising himself as a mortal, just like he was. A senior master seeking a breakthrough of the heart realm. Yan Zhaofeng called out to Chen Fan from behind to stop him, respectfully praising the swordsman painting he saw at the inn, and asked Chen Fan for a painting. Li Nianfan saw not only was he a total sword fanatic, but also a lover of fine art. So he traded the painting to him for 10 gold coins. As they were leaving, Shaoqi on his shoulder turned back and telepathically said, "You idiot, did you even grasp the master's hidden meaning?" Yi Jinghong unfolded the painting, only to see a little chick pecking at some rice. Just as Yi Jinghong was bewildered, the scroll suddenly burst into raging flames. In the blink of an eye, he found himself standing in a sea of immense scorching fire. From the depths of the flames came a piercing high-pitched cry, shaking the 9 heavens, and stirring the depths of the underworld, majestic and divine beyond measure. Could this be the nirvana of a phoenix? Yet in the end, it failed. Legend has it that this phoenix is the totem of the Fengming kingdom. Since the rebirth failed, it turned back into a chicken. Does the master's intent mean the Fengming kingdom is in trouble, and I should go to support them? The emperor of Fengming is a bitter man. Not only was he heavily wounded by a scheme from his own kingdom, but his daughter, whom he had not seen for days, actually claimed she had become someone else's servant. The emperor was so furious, he nearly fainted. You, a dignified princess, how could you possibly be someone's self-made. The third princess could only respond with action. She unleashed the power of her triple breakthrough, declaring that the master hailed from the legendary Forbidden Land, Earth. The emperor and empress simply could not believe it. Even if the powerhouses of Earth were terrifying, they could not be so strong that they would turn their daughter into a slave. Seeing is believing. Hearing is doubting. They decided to go and investigate for themselves. If things are as their daughter described, they might even invite him to be the state preceptor. Meanwhile, in Li Nianfan's courtyard, Greenhair claimed he had caught some human traffickers. Apparently, someone said he was a monkey with a noble lineage, and convinced Greenhair to follow them. Isn't that just a classic trick used by kidnappers? Looking at the two men kneeling and begging for mercy, while claiming there was a misunderstanding, Li Nianfan had to ask Shao Qi to identify them. Well, seeing the wounds on these so-called kidnappers, Li Nianfan was curious about who beat them up. Greenhair looked like a complete dimwit, pointing at the mindlessly grinning Xiaobai. Li Nianfan patted Xiaobai's head, wondering, how did it know those two were the bad guys? Xiaobai felt a surge of joy inside. The master finally praised it. At this moment, the traffickers also realized Shao Qi was the spirit jade rabbit. Having spent so many days with Li Nianfan, Shao Qi had started to become more compassionate. She shook her head to signal that these two were not exactly kidnappers. Li Nianfan was instantly dumbfounded. He pinched the silly dog, confused they had caught the wrong people. Xiaobai was even more confused it had bitten the wrong people. One of the elders asked Li Nianfan if those kidnappers had anything to do with Shao Qi. After Li Nianfan confirmed this, the old man patted his chest and vowed he knew who those traffickers were, and promised to fetch them for him. Li Nianfan rushed to help them up. They even offered to find the kidnappers after being wronged. What good people! He pulled them into the house to bandage their wounds. Scene change. The two were preparing to leave, to find the traffickers for Li Nianfan, and on the way, one of them asked the elder if he really knew any kidnappers. After all, their original mission was to bring Greenhair back to the sect. Even if Li Nianfan was powerful, there was no need to suck up to him like this. The elder was immediately furious. That Greenhair was originally trash with no martial spirit, a reject cast out of the sect. Yet such trash had awakened the bloodline of the great sage, and they had tried many times to probe him. The green-haired demonic beasts said that Master Chen was the one who helped him. If they could help Chen Fan find the human traffickers and gain his favor, they too could awaken their powerful bloodline talents. After saying this, the two of them started laughing. Meanwhile, in Chen Fan's courtyard, he saw how well-behaved Shao Qi was doing the laundry. Chen Fan sighed, thinking how great it would be to have a washing machine. When Shao Qi heard this, she felt the senior was assigning her a mission to find a washing machine. But how could she possibly know what on earth that thing was? At that moment, Chen Fan was holding a hammer, preparing to build a doghouse for Xiao Bai. He hoped it would behave and stop biting people randomly. As the hammer clanged and banged, the three demonic beasts were stunned, just casually building a doghouse, and it could emit such powerful spiritual energy. The crow and the ancient demonic ant, however, felt a wave of disappointment. Why was not the master building nests for them? Hasn't Xiao Bai already fallen out of favor? Xiao Bai looked smugly as if to say, of course not. Today it had found its true calling, to be the master's guard dog. This gave the white horse and the sheep donkey a sudden idea. Besides plowing and fertilizing, what else can it do? Except for when the master goes out. The sheep donkey is basically useless. The crow and the ancient ant agreed, same here, what else can we even do? By now, the doghouse was finished. It was glowing brightly, just by living inside it. Spiritual power would continuously flow in, without any need for cultivation. From now on, Xiao Bai's cultivation level would rise even in its sleep. Chen Fan was delighted to see Xiao Bai rolling around happily. The next second, Xiao Bai's ears twitched. It turned out that the third princess and her party had arrived for a visit. Without a second thought, Xiao Bai charged forward, barking wildly. The powerful Dharma body of the heavenly dog shook the surroundings. The emperor and empress were instantly terrified. Cold sweat poured down their faces. Holy cow, where did this howling celestial dog come from? The next second, Xiao Bai leapt down and started tearing and biting at the emperor. This dog demon, in order to win its master's affection, had gone completely feral, biting any stranger it saw. But the cultivator being bitten dared not get angry, or even speak up. Even his own daughter said it was no big deal. Her father's constitution is excellent. After the incident, the dog demon noticed the master did not scold it. It thought to itself that it must continue to be fierce in the future. At this moment, the cultivators stared at the sparkling doghouse. They wished they could go in and sleep in it themselves. Fortunately, his wife quickly stopped him, telling him to stay calm. When Chen Fan served them tea, he got straight to the point. He wanted the third princess and Shui Yao to be in charge of taking care of the livestock. The pay was 3,500 a month, with room and board included. The two cuties said it was no problem. Meanwhile, the The emperor beside them took a sip of tea. Not only did the injuries he sustained in the Phoenix Cry Nation heal, but his cultivation was also constantly breaking through. This is just too miraculous. At this time, Chen Fan gave the third princess and Shui Yao each a sickle for cutting grass. The third princess could tell at a glance that the sickle in Shui Yao's hand was a spirit tool, while hers was merely a profound artifact. She quickly made an excuse, saying she needed to send her parents back first. As they were leaving, the emperor and empress looked reluctant. They complained that he should have at least let them stay for a meal. Judging from the sickles he bestowed, the senior must be displeased with her parents. The reason, the third princess guessed, was that her parents only respected the senior on the surface. Inwardly, they were scheming to recruit the senior as their imperial tutor. Could it be that the senior can read minds? The third princess said with a sense of grievance that the senior is omnipotent, and she was disappointed in her parents' behavior. And so, the emperor and empress had a brainstorm. Since the senior let the third princess stay, it means he was not truly angry. Besides, there are not many animals in the courtyard. There is no need for two people to look after them. This was a hint from the senior for them to find more divine beasts. From the looks of it, the emperor has no choice but to venture into the endless sea to search for it. Meanwhile, Li Nianfan was pushing Shao Qi on the swing. He even started singing a nursery rhyme. A men affront a grapevine. It seems the dragon-trapping vine has achieved enlightenment. The master's intention is for it to become a grapevine. Just as Li Nianfan was lamenting that after more than 20 days, Miss Yi still had not returned the favor, a deafening roar echoed from the distance. Qin Potion led a dense crowd of cultivators, rushing over at high speed. These people were all more than willing to do things for Li Nianfan. He gave them their orders directly. Li Nianfan had not expected old Qin to be so reliable. He immediately assigned tasks to the crowd. He then called over the third princess and Shui Yao. From now on, the task of feeding the livestock would be handed over to others. The two of them only needed to sweep the courtyard and water the flowers. This kind of rough work, feeding livestock, there is no need to make girls do it. The two women looked at each other, bewildered. Shui Yao raised the broom high. The senior's expectation for her must be to sweep across all 8 directions. His expectation for the third princess must be to water the mountains and rivers. Shui Yao was instantly shocked. Doesn't watering the mountains and rivers mean nurturing all of creation? Only a matriarch, a mother to the world, would be qualified to bear such a heavy responsibility. It seems the senior is confessing his feelings to the third princess, just as the third princess was about to tell Shui Yao not to make wild guesses. At that moment, the primordial demon dragon burst forth from the ground. The sun's golden crow landed on the ground. The white horse and the dog demon also came before the third princess one by one. We pay our respects to the matriarch. The third princess lowered her head and indicated, "It is enough that we understand this matter ourselves. Do not make a scene before the senior has made it clear." The third princess fantasized about being under the moonlight, with Li Nianfan saying that she is the only woman who can stand by his side and rule the world. The third princess became more and more excited, as if she were drunk. It was as if the entire planet belonged to her. At this moment, Li Nianfan happened to ask the third princess to his study to consult her on a matter. The third princess was momentarily stunned. Isn't this progress bar moving a bit too fast? The senior's power is unfathomably deep. In the future, he will surely reign over the world. As long as I get that matter done today. From now on, I will be second to one person, the mistress above billions of people. He, just as she entered the study. The third princess locked the door from the inside, just as their eyes met. 108,000 words were omitted at this point. The man was despised by the system for having too few wives. It made him enter the cycle of reincarnation again with the dog demon. But the system ultimately never taught him cultivation. It only made him a god in all 360 professions. Until one day, he awakened his past life's memories. Knowing the truth, he completely turned to the dark side. When he asked the third princess if someone likes you, single quote, and gives you gifts to express their admiration, single quote, how would you respond? Without a second thought, the third princess blurted out, "I am willing." At that time, the two had a profound exchange. But after their passionate night, the unsightly memories of the two were erased by the system again. 3 days later, several high-rise buildings had sprung up from the ground in Li Nianfan's courtyard. He incorporated a design based on the 5 elements and 8 trigrams, allowing the buildings to form a grand spirit gathering array. This was all thanks to the swift and efficient workers brought by Qin Potion. Qin Potion stated that when working for the young master, the workers dared not be slow. Li Nianfan chuckled. Then he looked down at the high-rise buildings. He mused that it would be perfect if he could build a basketball court. Qin Potion asked in confusion, "What is a basketball basketball court. Li Nianfan said awkwardly. A basketball court is a place to play basketball. But then again, there is no basketball in this place. The third princess then asked, what is a basketball? Li Nianfan gestured with his hands. A basketball is about this big. It is a kind of leather object. You can inflate it with air, full of elasticity. The third princess suddenly remembered where she had seen it before. So she made an excuse to take some leave and returned home for a few days, aiming to search for the mythical orb. Li Nianfan agreed readily, and told her to take Shanzhe along to save time and effort. When the third princess arrived at the livestock shed, Shanzhe and the white dragon horse immediately bowed down, begging their matriarch for guidance, asking how they could earn more of the master's affection. Having spent time with them, the third princess had grown quite fond of them, so she certainly did not want to see them discarded by the expert. This time, the expert ordered Shanzhe to carry her on their journey. Shanzhe understood instantly, vowing to give his all to assist the matriarch. The third princess explained she was on a mission to find the water spirit pearl. Based on the expert's description, it must be the legendary water spirit pearl. She asked if the ancient divine beast, the white dragon horse, had heard of it. Legend says the water spirit pearl is the ultimate treasure of the Xuanwu clan, which the dragon clan has been searching for thousands of years. The white dragon horse was certain the water spirit pearl was within the borders of the Fengming kingdom. Back when he was injured and met the expert, he was actually searching for that pearl. After the introduction, the white dragon horse conjured an image of the water spirit pearl. The third princess realized it in a flash. It was actually that thing. She immediately rode Shanzhe and dashed off, not forgetting to look back and compliment the little dragon. Once the mission is accomplished, the master won't treat you poorly. At this moment, Old Man Yi was shouldering a pickaxe in the Fengming kingdom, standing atop the imperial city, shouting loudly, "The world shall eventually belong to the expert. I advise the Fengming kingdom to surrender immediately." But all that emerged was layers of dark demonic aura from the city, followed by a disdainful voice. "What kind of bullshit expert is that? Never heard of him." Old Man Yi bellowed. "The expert comes from Earth, a place of ancient forbidden mysteries. Of course you would not know of him, due to your ignorance." As soon as Old Man Yi finished, he sensed the dense demonic aura within the black mist. Mocking laughter echoed from the mist again, trying to act all tough with a broken pickaxe. "It seems your so-called expert is nothing more than this." Old Man Yi instantly flew into a rage. "How dare you disrespect the expert? Watch me dig your grave." Old Man Yi gripped his pickaxe and descended through the air, plunging straight into the black mist. But his strike hit the mist like punching a cotton ball. With a loud bang, Old Man Yi spat blood and was sent flying, slamming heavily into the foot of the city wall. Then, from the black mist, a sinister face appeared, ordering Old Man Yi to submit to the immortal Slayer Hall, so he could prolong his pathetic life. But who knew, lying in the deep crater, Old Man Yi was completely fearless. He was convinced that all of this was under the expert's calculation. "If I can't beat you, the expert will surely arrange a heavyweight to come and rescue me." The black mist had never seen someone so good at acting cool. The mist manifested into a massive palm, intending to snuff out this show-off right there. But just then, a clear, ethereal voice drifted over, like a lonely shadow in the cold river. "We are all travelers in the Donghua, meeting is fate. Why insist on knowing each other before?" "What?" The unknown entity in the black mist was shocked. "Who goes there?" However, the only answer to him was a dense rain of sword shadows. Yan Zhaofeng stood on his sword in the sky, saying only one word, "Retract." The dense sword intent instantly vanished into the scabbard behind his back. Old Man Yi felt speechless. This level of coolness is simply unmatched. This swordsman rescued Old Man Yi from the demon. Yet he never dreamed Old Man Yi would scold him for showing off too much, and even ordered him to hack the demon's waist. The swordsman was confused. He saved his life and did not even get a thank you, yet heard him speak in such a tone. Old Man Yi said, "He is but a chess piece of the expert, Master Chen from Qingxi town, sent here to wipe out the Fengming kingdom." Was the swordsman's appearance right now not an arrangement by Master Chen? The swordsman, Yan Zhaofeng, was a bit dumbfounded after hearing this. Meanwhile, the black mist demon sneered from the side. "What, Supreme Master? He does not even know you." Only then did Yan Zhaofeng realize the true meaning of the painting was for him to help conquer the Phoenix Cry Nation. As a dense barrage of sword chi descended, the black mist demon was submerged beneath thousands of sword intents. Only his last words remained, "You dare kill me? Then just wait for the endless wrath of the immortal Slayer Hall." Yan Zhaofeng sheathed his sword. The gates of the Phoenix Cry Nation swung wide open. Old Man Yi also successfully subjugated the Phoenix Cry Nation. He led the vast army of defectors towards the mountain where Li Nianfan's towering pavilion now stood. At a glance, he could tell that Qin Potion had already broken through to the peak of the Dragon Martial Realm. But the next second, Qin Potion quietly informed informed old man Yi that the senior was very displeased with his and little Wu's efficiency. Recently, Li Nianfan had asked several times when little Wu would be back. How could they know that Li Nianfan just wanted to talk with Yi Qingwu about some adult matters? Old man Yi sighed helplessly. When the senior is angered, rivers of blood will flow for 30,000 miles. He could only hope his daughter would live up to expectations. Otherwise, even he could not protect Yi Qingwu. Meanwhile, in the distant Phantom Annihilation Forest, lived countless jade silkworm demon beasts. Their silk is impervious to both water and fire, and cannot be pierced by blades or spears. Fuyuan Inn Lin Xiaoyan was bound by the silk, his life hanging by a thread. Waiter, Fuyuan Inn, just as he felt he was about to perish. Waiter, Fuyuan Inn. He discovered that when the silk touched the wooden sword at his waist. Waiter, he discovered that when the silk touched the wooden sword at his waist, it gradually melted away. This wooden sword was a gift from a strange child. Only at this moment did Lin Xiaoyan understand. Everything had been under the senior's invisible control all along. Simply terrifying. He was now on a quest to find Yi Qingwu for the senior. And deep within the forest, Yi Qingwu and Huang Zhao were preparing to take the plastic back to report. But just then, a 7-colored jade silkworm attacked from afar. In an instant, it trapped the two of them within its silk. She thought she would be fine with the Zen-winged cloud gauze protecting her. Who knew the silk would only get tighter and tighter? Huang Zhao instantly could not hold on, and coughed up a mouthful of blood. Yi Qingwu wanted to save Huang Zhao, but found herself entangled by the silk as well. The next second, she was trussed up and bound tightly. At this moment, she was in despair. She had failed to complete the senior's task. The senior must be so disappointed in me. But just then, a wooden sword flew out of thin air. It instantly dissolved the silk on Yi Qingwu's body. The 7-colored jade silkworm was shocked. This is cold iron divine wood. Lin Xiaoyan, holding the wooden sword, declared, I was sent by the senior. I am here to assist Yi Qingwu in completing her mission. Hearing this, Yi Qingwu finally felt relieved. With this divine sword, they could surely complete the senior's task. At this moment, the 7-colored jade silkworm pitifully begged for mercy. Yi Qingwu stated that she only wanted the Zen-winged cloud gauze, and had no intention of harming its clan. Who knew that the next second, the wooden sword flew out of Lin Xiaoyan's hand. Lin Xiaoyan shouted, that sword was a gift from the senior. Who dares to snatch it? The senior will surely show no mercy. Yi Qingwu also declared that they were acting on the senior's orders, to come and find the Zen-winged cloud gauze. If you ruin our plans, the senior will make you see why the flowers are so red. A sinister old man appeared, stroking the wooden sword with a look of utter disdain. You keep saying senior this, senior that. Why do not you tell me who exactly this person is? Yi Qingwu stated, the senior is from the Forbidden Land, Earth. Who knew that after hearing this, the sinister old man was even more contemptuous. With that, he intended to kill Yi Qingwu, to force out this so-called expert from Earth. Just at that critical moment, Yi Qingwu pushed Lin Xiaoyan away, taking the full force of the sly old head's attack by herself. But when the sly old head saw Yi Qingwu take his palm strike, and she did not fall, he decided to hit her with another one. But at this moment, Yi Qingwu was completely powerless to resist. At this point, she knew she was about to perish here, but she never would have dreamed that the blood she had just coughed up had splattered onto the jade pendant given by Chen Fan. A character for Dao slowly emerged from within the jade pendant, emitting a dazzling light. With a bang, the protective shield formed by the light blocked the sly old head's second palm strike. Not only that, Yi Qingwu also discovered that the injuries she had just sustained were being healed by the jade pendant. With a whoosh, Yi Qingwu was pulled into the jade pendant. You simply can't believe how powerful the Dao family is, because Yi Qingwu's blood offering splattered onto the jade pendant given by Chen Fan. Her injuries were instantly healed. Furthermore, by the true mantra of the Dao character in the pendant, she was pulled into a chaotic world. A sacred and inviolable man was sitting cross-legged on a 12-petaled lotus platform. A jade sword hovered above the man's head. Behind him were 9 halos of light. Within the halos was a Dao character, simple yet profoundly complex to behold, sacred and flawless, like the master of creation itself. Yi Qingwu was stunned. The man was none other than the great expert Chen Fan. Chen Fan's voice was like the rumbling of the great Dao. Little Wu, are you willing to inherit my will? Yi Qingwu's heart was already boiling with passion, a tempest raging within her. She knelt on both knees, and piously clasped her hands, saying, I am willing. Chen Fan simply raised his hand and pointed. A beam of light struck Yi Qingwu between her eyebrows. The next second, Yi Qingwu appeared like an immortal descending to the mortal realm, her feet treading on lotus flowers, her head adorned with a phoenix crown. Her noble aura was overwhelming. Lin Xiaoyan and the sly old head felt this terrifying pressure, and could not even catch their breath. Could this be the profound lady of the 9 heavens, descending to the mortal world? The sly old head's heart screamed, this is bad. At this moment, Yi Qingwu spoke with an icy voice. I shall have you atone with your life. Her words became law. A character for death came crashing down. The gushing blood gave the seven-colored jade silkworm a jolt. The thought of submission had already taken root in its heart. Lin Xiaoyan, who was beside them, immediately knelt down. However, Yi Qingwu, considering they were both pawns of the great expert, said there is no need to kneel. The seven-colored jade silkworm, however, kept kowtowing repeatedly, and expressed its willingness to lead its clan to submit to the Sanus. Yi Qingwu never dreamed things would go so smoothly. Not only did she collect a large amount of plastic, she also gained a group of demonic beast underlings. She originally thought the expert gave her an ordinary jade pendant, as a sign of his disdain for her, but she never expected it was her own cultivation that was too low. To see the terrifying power of the jade pendant. As she was leaving, the seven-colored jade silkworm even begged Yi Qingwu to take it to meet the great expert. To serve him, Yi Qingwu agreed with an icy tone. Afterward, the two people and one insect soared into the sky and flew into the distance. Meanwhile, Chen Fan looked at the dragon-trapping vine wrapped around the willow tree and sighed. A whole 10 years. It has finally bloomed. Once the grapevine bears fruit, not only can I eat them myself, I can also sell them to top up my account and buy some skins. It is truly like a spring breeze that came in the night, adorning thousands of trees with pear blossoms. But old man Yi came up from behind, asking for instructions on how to build a vegetable greenhouse. Li Nianfan said there was no rush. It was better to first build a trellis for the grapevine. Only after the two had left, the Willow God and Green Emperor could no longer contain their excitement. They burst out laughing, muttering, "Pear blossoms will bear pear fruits. This must be the senior's expectation for him." A few days later, Li Nianfan stared at the willow tree, completely bewildered. It is clearly a willow tree, so why is it blooming with pear blossoms? Hearing this, the willow god broke out in a cold sweat. Could it be that he had misunderstood the senior's intention? He hurriedly sought help from that little ancestor, Shao Qi. Shao Qi just shook her head, calling her little ancestor like that. Is he trying to get himself killed? But after some thought, she still ran to her big brother Nianfan. She said this tree is a golden pear tree. The fruit it bears is as delicious as gold, crunch crunch. Hearing this, the willow god was so moved that tears streamed down its entire trunk. Behind the two of them, Xiao Bai was slapping its own face. It grumbled about the old saying, "A master who teaches a trade will starve to death." It should not have taught her how to please the senior in the first place. Who would have known that when the primordial demonic ant saw this? It let out a cold, sarcastic sneer. The next second, the two great divine beasts were instantly at each other's throats. The protagonist has always thought he was just a mortal. Little does he know, his courtyard is filled with divine artifacts. The dog he keeps is the howling celestial dog. Oh great gods, the dog he keeps is the howling celestial dog. Because of the poem, adorning thousands of trees with pear blossoms, the willow god and green emperor reversed their own genes and started blooming with pear blossoms. No matter how powerful a warrior is, they are just his laborers, building a grape trellis for him, building a house. Even the swordsman Yan Zhaofeng, known as the sword fanatic, is willing to stay by his side as a servant. The protagonist, Li Nianfan, seeing that he was a lover of painting, decided to help him by organizing his artworks. On that painting it was written, 10 years to sharpen one sword. The frosty blade has yet to taste blood. The frosty blade has yet to taste blood. Today I hold it and ask you. Today I hold it and ask you. Today I hold it and ask you. Is there any injustice in this world? Let us see. Is there any injustice in this world? Yan Zhaofeng was instantly pulled into an illusion. There a reclusive master stood by a sword washing pond. Every day, he only sharpened his sword, never practicing with it. He eventually reached the terrifying state of unity between man and sword. The next second, Yan Zhaofeng was thrown back to reality by that terrifying sword intent. He felt as if he had an epiphany. He was about to find a quiet place to meditate on it, but Li Nianfan, seeing he was about to like Uncle Cat's video, did not try to keep him. This man is truly a fanatic. He will surely achieve great things in the future. Meanwhile, in the distant imperial palace of the Chilling Kingdom, the first prince took advantage of the emperor's absence. The empress had gone to the great wilderness to seek out demonic beasts. He framed the third princess for conspiring with Zhao Gao to assassinate the late emperor. And seizing the throne, the old Yao behind her almost went berserk after hearing this. But the third princess declared, "Whatever you have got, bring it on." The first prince is a prince of low status. What right does he have to rebel? It was not until the nation guarding general, Li Jinyan, walked out from behind him, that the third princess understood everything. So, the one who truly wants to be emperor is Li Jinyan. Since everyone is here, the third princess snapped her fingers. Instantly, the aura of a martial sect expert erupted from her body. The immense pressure forced all the civil and military officials to their knees. The immense pressure forced all the civil and military officials to their knees. They trembled uncontrollably. They pathetically claimed they were just working-class folks. With a light wave of her hand, Li Jinyan, who was behind her, was already dead and gone. Even a martial sect expert was terrified like this. The entire imperial court had already knelt on the ground. We respectfully invite the third princess to ascend the throne and proclaim herself empress. The third princess stated, "What is so great about being the empress of the tiny Chilling nation? She is destined to be with Li Nianfan, the woman who will reign over the world." Moreover, before her father, the emperor, left, he had already decided to pass the throne to the fifth prince, Zhao Gao. From now on, the Chilling nation will also be entirely subservient to the master of Nameless Mountain. After saying this, she walked towards the Chilling nation's sacrificial altar, leaving behind the small fries, all looking utterly bewildered. What Nameless Mountain? What master? They had never heard of such things. And upon the sacrificial altar of the Chilling nation rested a water spirit pearl the size of a basketball. This thing was incredibly bouncy, just like the basketball the master had described. The mountain bro strongly suggested that if they were to present the water spirit pearl to Li Nianfan as a return gift, he would surely announce to the world and declare the third princess's status as the matriarch. The third princess giggled with delight upon hearing this. She immediately set off to return to her residence. Meanwhile, on top of Nameless Mountain, amidst the shocked and worshipful gazes of the crowd, Li Nianfan finally saw the one he had been dreaming of day and night, Yi Qingwu. She wore high heels with silver trim. A crown adorned her head. She was dressed in magnificent clothes. Her hair was smoother than a shampoo commercial. She looked just like a goddess descending to the mortal realm. Li Nianfan was completely stunned. The two of them locked eyes, but the jade pendant Li Nianfan had given her was nowhere to be seen on her neck. Could this be her way of indirectly rejecting his feelings? Yi Qingwu stated that she had found the plastic for Li Nianfan. Li Nianfan let out a sigh. Disappointed, he took the plastic and asked Miss Yi to come inside and rest. Yi Qingwu was full of questions. She had brought the Zen-winged cloud brocade. So why was Li Nianfan's mood so low? It was not until Auntie Shui poured her tea that she seemed to understand everything. Before, it was always Li Nianfan who made tea for her. Then Li Nianfan came over and asked her to accept the money for the plastic. He then dejectedly left, saying he was going to cook. Yi Qingwu finally understood. She must have offended the master. But how could she know? It was because she was not wearing the jade pendant Li Nianfan gave her. It was a sign that she had rejected his confession. The hearts of the two lovers were drifting further and further apart. So be it. Don't force it. The cat uncle says you can't force a melon to be sweet, but it is still a melon. At this moment, at the foot of Nameless Mountain, Yi Qingwu was asking her father, Old Man Yi, for a plan to salvage the situation. Old Man Yi said, it was only because Miss Yi delayed the timing of completing the task. He was just angry for a moment. In that case, Yi Qingwu still has a chance to return to the master's side. Old Man Yi suggested that she and Qin Yin comprehend the meaning of the embroidery together. Once she understands it, she can return to the master's side. As the two kindred spirits were halfway on their journey, Yi Qingwu suddenly screamed, "Oh my God!" She had actually left the 7-colored jade silkworm on Nameless Mountain, and on that Nameless Mountain, Li Nianfan was gazing into the distance, comforting himself. Miss Yi was dressed so nobly and magnificently today. She must have earned the praise and high regard of her sect. Her future is limitless. He spat out the blade of grass in his mouth. He told himself he could not just stay stagnant like this. Even if he can't cultivate, he must become a master among mortals. Work hard to make money. Let us start with a small goal, like earning 100 million. Just as he turned to leave, on the reeds of the cliff, the 7-colored jade silkworm was looking completely baffled. Which fellow Taoist is so handsome, and even gave me a like? Damn, this fourth princess of the dragon clan. She actually saw her own third brother being brutally trampled by a common white dog. It was a sight too horrible to watch. Her third brother held such a noble status. How could he be humiliated by a lowly mutt? Just as she was about to rush over and save him from this dire situation, she suddenly realized something was off. Whoa. That mutt was actually a howling celestial hound. Whoa. That mutt was actually a howling celestial hound. That mutt was actually a howling celestial hound. And beside it were an ancient demonic ant and a golden sun crow. The princess could not help but slam on the brakes. Looking around, even the road repairmen were top-tier experts. The weakest among them was at the peak of the martial soul realm, just like her. What in the world is going on here? With a yelp, she immediately dove into the bushes. She fumed, declaring that no matter who bullied her third brother, she would make them pay a painful price. But just then, a moo sound was heard. The princess looked towards the source of the sound. It was the emperor and empress of the Chilling nation. They were leading a cow up the mountain. The princess was instantly stunned. That cow was actually the young master of the Azure Ox clan. The ox's face was a mask of resentment and unwillingness. Looks like this couple has been giving him a real hard time. Looks like this couple has been giving him a real hard time. But at that moment, the third princess riding a goat waved at them. The old emperor immediately scolded her, asking if she had eaten a bear's heart and a leopard's gall. How dare she ride the senior's mount? The third princess said that the senior allowed her to ride it. The empress's eyes immediately lit up. She never thought her daughter had already earned the senior's favor. Hearing this, the emperor was also overjoyed. No, they too had captured an azure ox from the endless sea. This way, their family of 3 could all serve the senior. Hearing this, Elder Yao looked unconvinced. The senior's feelings for the matriarch. How could it be described with a mere word like favor? Finally, they learned from Elder Yao that the senior had already confessed to the third princess. As long as she returned the basketball as a gift to the senior would announce to the world and make her his main wife. After hearing this, the azure ox could no longer hold back his inner monologue. This whole family is a bunch of nutjobs. They think every casual word someone says has some profound meaning. I would like to see for myself just how awesome this earth-shattering expert they speak of really is. The next second, he saw the 5 elements spirit gathering array in the courtyard. He was instantly so terrified, his legs turned to jelly and his liver and guts quivered. At this time, Li Nianfan also saw the princess and her parents. However, the daughter riding a goat, while her parents walked behind her, was an act of disrespect. This left Li Nianfan a little displeased. Li Nianfan walked straight past her and greeted the third princess's parents. The emperor stated that he and his wife had specially brought a cow to thank him. Li Nianfan led them into the house for tea. He said someone would come and take the little cow away. This made the third princess very puzzled. The senior was intentionally giving her the cold shoulder. Meanwhile, the dragon princess, observing from the side, was terrified. These people were so respectful towards Li Nianfan. He must be a peerless expert, hiding his cultivation. To save her third brother, she had no choice but to seek help from the great elders of the Dragon Palace. Meanwhile, that Li Nianfan asked the emperor if there was anything he needed help with. The emperor stammered. It seemed like there was some family conflict. No wonder. Zhao Lingzi was riding that big goat all by herself at the front. In the end, the old emperor could not hold it in any longer and spoke up. He expressed that he and his wife also wished to work by Li Nianfan's side. I thought it was some big deal. You guys should get some rest. After you have rested, go find old man Yi in the backyard. But who knew? The emperor waved his hand, saying he would go right now. What a simple and honest couple. Li Nianfan decided to give them a hand. After they left, the third princess took out that bouncy water spirit pearl. Li Nianfan was stunned on the spot. A basketball. The divine martial continent actually has basketballs. After a moment of excitement, Li Nianfan put the water spirit pearl down. He told the third princess she no longer needed to water the flowers and plants. From now on, she would just follow old man Yi and await his arrangements. The third princess was utterly shocked. Is the master trying to strip me of my duty of irrigating the mountains and rivers, my status as the matriarch, and making me Yi Jinghong's little follower? Just as the third princess was about to ask why, Li Nianfan added, she and Miss Shui will also move in with her parents from now on. Genius. After saying this, Li Nianfan walked away with a grin. He thought to himself, why would a family hold a grudge overnight? I am such a genius, he. Little did he know, behind him, Zhao Lingzi was already bawling her eyes out. Whoever likes this video gets to marry him. Holy cow. The third princess had actually misunderstood the master's intentions. She still thought she could become the one above all, and the matriarch below billions of people. Old man Yi expressed, I am afraid you are reaching for the stars. You are like a turtle trying to run a marathon. Your brain must be waterlogged. The master sees you as a little sister, but you are out here thinking you have got a shot. But the third princess did not understand. Why would the master consult her about matters of love between a man and a woman, using objects as metaphors? At this moment, Shaoqi also chimed in. The master wants to personally experience the life of a mortal. This includes getting married and having children. Asking about romantic matters does not mean he likes you. Old man Yi chimed in, agreeing. Exactly. The master gave you a watering can to arrange official business. Who on earth uses a kettle as a token of love? If anyone does, I will eat 3 tons of it on the spot. After everyone's wild brainstorming session about the spiral patterned thing, the third princess finally realized she had been overthinking things. As they walked out the door, old man Yi asked Shaoqi, does the master really want to marry and have children like a mortal? Shaoqi said if the master truly has that intention, there will surely be a hint. We just need to wait for the opportunity. The only question is, what type of girl does the master like? Does he like humans or perhaps demons? Old man Yi could only hope that his daughter, Xingwu, could seize the opportunity. The scene changes. Li Nianfan scattered the seeds rewarded by the system into the pit. Then he sprinkled some water on them. The next second, the seeds that had just been sown, as if feeling the warmth of spring, gushed forth a massive amount of green spiritual energy. Under the diligent work of the laborers, Li Nianfan was finally becoming the god of agriculture. agriculture. After the seeds rewarded for his artistic achievements were sown, he looked at the frantically busy old man Yi. Not only had he become the head steward, but he was also personally handling every single matter. It is just a pity that he and Qingwu are not fated to be. I will have to forge a new hoe for him in the future. But the fertile land on the mountain is limited. To become the richest man, I am afraid I will have to develop a side hustle. At this moment, Li Nianfan was completely clueless. As his mind was racing, he saw Xiao Qi spacing out by herself. Walking closer for a look, it turned out Xiao Qi was staring at the 7-colored jade silkworm that Qingwu had dropped. Speaking of which, how can there be silkworms in this world? I just do not know if it can produce silk. Although the jade silkworm was in Li Nianfan's hand, he could not feel the slightest bit of a martial artist's aura from it. But the next second, with a thunderous boom, it was as if it were resting in the divine palm of the Buddha himself. Its mouth uncontrollably spat out a bundle of silkworm thread. Li Nianfan pulled at the silk thread, a curious look on his face. He never expected the quality to be this good. If this were made into clothes, wouldn't it become a bestseller throughout the entire cultivation world? I would be set. It won't be long before I can marry a rich, beautiful woman. I would be set. It won't be long before I can marry a rich, beautiful woman. It won't be long before I can marry a rich, beautiful woman, and reach the pinnacle of my life. But he had no idea the 7-colored jade silkworm was already dumbfounded. The 7-colored cloud silk it produced was one of the toughest treasures in the world, yet the master could effortlessly pull it apart with just 2 fingers. Right then, Li Nianfan asked Qin Potion, who was carrying water behind him, to go and find some, but this mutated 7-colored jade silkworm was rather hard to find. However, there were plenty of ordinary jade silkworms. Although the silk they produced was not as good as the 7-colored jade silkworms, it was still very precious. Since that was the case, Li Nianfan told Qin Potion to go find them. For the grand enterprise of marrying a rich, beautiful woman, Li Nianfan immediately left with Qin Potion, leaving only Xiao Qi behind to feed the 7-colored jade silkworm mulberry leaves. Chirp chirp, the 7-colored jade silkworm gobbled them down with relish. Every single mulberry leaf was comparable to a spiritual elixir. No wonder the master spared its clan. It turned out the master had a plan all along. Meanwhile, in that chamber, Yi Qingwu and Qin Yin were still unable to comprehend the deep meaning behind the handkerchief the master had given them. Their big, beautiful eyes were red from crying nonstop. But just then, Qin Potion and Old Man Yi pushed open the chamber door. The master had asked him to find more jade silkworms. Yi Qingwu had a sudden realization. So the reason the master was cold to her was because she did not bring the jade silkworm clan to Nameless Mountain. After hearing this, Old Man Yi fell into deep thought. The master wants to find jade silkworms because he values the silk they produce. And silk is used for weaving. And what does weaving require? The 2 old men had a sudden, great epiphany. Women, Old Man Yi blushing declared. No wonder the master gave him such a simple task. It turns out his true purpose was to have him find female pawns for his game. Hearing this, Qin Potion gave him a big thumbs up. We are both pawns in his game, so why are you so outstanding? At this moment, Little Wu also remembered something. 100 miles outside the Phantom Extinction Forest, there is a Weaver Maiden Palace. The women in the palace are all stunningly beautiful, and each of them achieved the Tao through weaving. The master must be referring to that place. Upon hearing this, Qin Potion turned and left. His heart was already restless, eager to go and conquer the Weaver Maiden Palace. Old Man Yi from behind quickly called out to him. He told him to take Qin Yin and Little Wu with him, to give them a chance to earn some merit. For the sake of Little Wu's lovesickness, Old Man Yi still wanted to give it a shot. Meanwhile, at the foot of Nameless Mountain, a flock of crows cawed ominously. Wherever they passed, not a single bird was left alive. A group of warriors from the Immortal Slayer Hall had grim expressions. They intended to flatten the Nameless Mountain before them. A great battle was about to erupt. This protagonist thought he was just a mortal. Little did he know that a single sneeze from him could directly wipe out millions of cultivators. Just as Xiao Qi and Xiao Bai were drooling while watching Li Nianfan barbecue, a wave of murderous aura rushed towards them. Dark clouds were already rolling over Nameless Mountain. Yi Jinghong and the other cultivators looked up. They were certain it was countless powerful experts traveling together. The dark clouds were formed by the condensation of their auras. Within the dark clouds, a bloody, baleful energy swirled continuously. One look and you could tell they were up to no good. They feared it was an invasion by the powerhouses of the Immortal Slayer Hall. Yi Jinghong was seen waving his large hand. He intended to annihilate the invaders at the foot of the mountain to avoid disturbing the master's barbecue. At Yi Jinghong's command, the workers, wielding their walks and brooms, charged straight down the mountain, shouting for the master, repelling the demon clan. At this moment, they were already standing before the demon clan. A fierce fighting spirit emanated from the top of each person's head. The leader of the demon clan spoke. Then call forth that master of yours who is hiding behind you. and prepare to die. With a casual wave of his hand, a surge of demonic energy shot straight towards Old Man Yi. Old Man Yi instantly spat out a mouthful of blood. Holy smokes. He is actually a martial venerable level expert. The strongest among them was merely a martial ancestor. How are we supposed to fight this? The demon leaped into the air. He conjured a dense mass of tentacles. In a flash, the cultivators were all tightly bound by the tentacles. They cried out to Old Man Yi for help, feeling utterly hopeless. Could it be that the senior would really just watch them perish with his own eyes? Old Man Yi's Dao heart was shattered. He thought of the immense opportunities the senior had bestowed upon them, yet they could not even deal with the invading enemies. What right did they have to beg the senior to intervene? At that moment, Xiao Bai, who was in the courtyard, sighed. Why does not Master save them? Xiao Qi said that in the senior's eyes, all living beings are but ants. Would anyone care about the life or death of an ant? Just then, Li Nianfan picked up the pepper shaker. With a motion as smooth as flowing water, he sprinkled it onto the barbecue skewers. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew. It blew the pepper powder right into Li Nianfan's nose. Suddenly, Li Nianfan let out a sneeze. Countless Dao runes surged out from Li Nianfan's nostrils. The Dao runes enveloped Li Nianfan. The sound produced by the sneeze rushed towards the expert from the Immortal Slayer Hall. Empowered by the Dao runes, Li Nianfan's sneeze instantly transformed into the sound of the great Dao. It shook the heavens and the earth. The rivers flowed backward. Those tentacles binding the cultivators vanished into thin air in an instant. The leader of the Immortal Slayer Hall glanced towards the direction of Nameless Mountain from afar. His heart pounded in terror, and he turned to flee. Old Man Yi and the others were all stunned. Just what kind of terrifying realm was this? Just as Li Nianfan let out a sneeze, the fleeing army of the Immortal Slayer Hall was instantly blasted apart by the shockwave, and somewhere in the clouds, the three-headed dragon watched, his heart pounding with fear. He was completely dumbfounded. A single sneeze actually shattered more than 100 people. Among them was even a martial venerable level expert. Not even their dragon emperor could do that. The next second, Ao Dong grabbed Ao Bei and fled at top speed. If the senior mistook them for being with the demon clan, it would be game over. Even the trapped dragon vine and willow god, who had been with Li Nianfan the longest, were witnessing Li Nianfan take action for the first time. They never expected that when the senior was still, he was still. But when he moved, the entire universe paled in comparison. But the Willow God, the Azure Emperor, could not see through Li Nianfan's cultivation at all. One could say that today, the senior probably only used 1/1,000,000th of his true power. The Azure Bull, with its middle-parted hair, deeply understood what it meant to feel inferior, what it meant to be pathetic, and what it meant to be utterly powerless. It seems I would better just focus on eating grass to hold on tight to the senior's thigh. Meanwhile, somewhere far away in the Immortal Slayer Hall, more than 100 soul jades shattered at the same time. The experts of the Immortal Slayer Hall were stunned. The East Sea Archipelago is supposed to be the weakest region on the divine martial continent. How could there be a master capable of killing hundreds of people with a single move? The Lord of the Immortal Slayer Hall stated that although the East Sea Archipelago is weak, it is the key location in the prophecy of the great change between heaven and earth. The establishment of the Immortal Slayer Hall was precisely to take control of the East Sea Archipelago in advance. They never thought someone would beat them to the punch. The two elders, Vermilion Bird and White Tiger, bowed respectfully. They declared their intention to personally lead the troops back to the East Sea Archipelago.